This is a Kiss original on 101.9 Kiss FM. The geekdom is spreading. It is present at almost every turn. And it's only a matter of time before it comes for you.
Nothing in our solar system can help us.
Let the Geek Patrol be your guide as you delve into the worlds of science, gaming, and pop culture. This is Geek Tank Radio.
Welcome, everyone. We are the Geek Patrol, and our microphones don't have a stun setting. This season of Geek Tank Radio is brought to you by the Blue Milk Group. Don't miss this one-of-a-kind stage performance where Luke Skywalker lookalikes pound on Ewok drums and throw blue milk at the audience. Part performance art, part disgusting beverages. The Blue Milk Group. Even Martin Scorsese approves.
Now I'm guaranteed
get
to
your
hate
tickets for. Okay, that's.
That's just sour.
I was afraid you were gonna stop on like pounding on Ewoks, and I was like,
Well, I hate that because my kind is getting,
It's
pounded
they're being disrespected. So
Yeah,
not
these,
cool.
these Luke lookalikes, or are they lookalikes?
lookalikes.
do you get like a poncho when you go in?
Appropriating your culture by stealing your drums.
We should have eaten the whole lot of them when they came through the first time.
I mean,
Do you
yeah,
get like a milk-proof poncho?
I don't have a whole lot of jokes on this one,
yeah.
but as long as they're paying the bill.
It pays the bills, guys. I mean, come on. So anyway, welcome
Paying
to.
my bills.
I prefer it green, unpastured.
Yeah.
Right.
Anyway, welcome
Straight from
to Geek Tank, everybody. Yeah. So, but the Scorsese triggered me. I wanted to pick the lowest brow sponsor we could get this
Thank
week,
you.
but apparently.
Oh, then you didn't talk to the sponsors. I talked to.
Okay, so yeah, we're going to talk about his disgusting comments that he made about Marvel movies and really any other kind of movie that's not one
Not
of his.
his.
Well, I was going to say,
basically.
Scorsese's weren't that bad. It's Coppola's that were despicable.
I guess so.
We also, the elephant in the room, the trailer.
Yeah,
we got to talk about
We got to talk
the
about
trailer.
Oh yeah. So Star
I
Wars
thought that
Episode 9 trailer. So that's gonna be an interesting discussion. Jeremy Feldman's gonna come in and elevate the room. He always brings a lot of interesting.
Who's in the corner, Joe?
And you bring it all the way back.
Okay, but then and then of course our buddy Mr. Robert's dropping in. The amazing Mr. Robert. He's got an update about let's make a deal and some other things, and I think he's gonna hang out for a little bit today. So science, we've got really too much to even get into. So just strap in and stay tuned for Geek Tank Radio.
Strap.
The Memphis Comic and Fantasy Convention is turning 10 and celebrating in a big way. We're starting Friday, November 15th, back in East Memphis at Memphis Marriott East. Memphis Comic and Fantasy Convention 2019, November 15th through 17th. Check out the stars, Janelle Stevens from Black Panther and Luke Cage. Our Friday night concert, headlined by Kaza, cosplay contests, live cartoons, comic book artists, authors, and one-of-a-kind collectibles you can't find anywhere in the galaxy. Memphis Comic and Fantasy Convention, November 15th through 17th at Memphis Marriott East. Get your 3-day passes or single-day tickets now at MCFC.com.
No matter what nefarious plan he has cooked up, Alan always keeps it educational. Get banished to Professor Gilbreth's Science Corner.
It's not often that I get a science story that's just cute. Just plain cute.
That's true, Alan. They're usually pretty disturbing and portend bad things for humanity.
No, they're usually quite, uplifting and, mentally stimulating.
I was about to say, Joe, you're just a pessimist.
Yeah,
I'm the one guarding the gates, Andy. I'm here to protect, man. So, but go ahead.
Well, all right, put your little gates up for this
Don't give
one.
Alan free reign, or the human race is doomed. But anyway, go ahead, Alan.
Yeah, well, we'll talk about that in a little bit. Let's go with the headline. Rats taught to drive tiny cars to lower their stress levels.
Wait
a minute now. Go ahead, Andy.
I
know
was
where
going
you're
to say, driving is one of the most stressful activities that we can do.
You don't have a cute little rat mobile.
So they're wired in reverse of us. I mean, if you think about it, they swim in filth. They thrive on sewage and everything. So sure, they would think driving is relaxing.
These rats have never seen a sewer. I promise you.
Hang on. What does Joe have against rats?
Oh,
everything.
We got rat. Yeah. I have rat and squirrel issues.
Once I explained to him that a squirrel was nothing more than a rat with a fuzzy tail, man, it was on for Joe.
Yeah.
It was on, man. It was on.
Roof rats, all that.
These are, however, your pet and laboratory style rats.
Okay.
And
high-end rats.
These are high-end rodents. And they were given some cute little rat-mobiles. So they have these cute little cars.
So does each one got their own car?
Each one has their own little car.
So you're saying if they all got to going real fast, it could be rat rage on the road?
Well, you know.
A little rat rage on the road.
A little rat rage. Well, we haven't got any rat rage. So what we have is a very low voltage system, so it's really imperceptible.
Yeah.
So the rat stands on the little aluminum receiving plate, and they literally drive the vehicle kind of like playing the vehicle harp.
Right.
So there are little wires in front of them, and if the rat touches a certain wire, the vehicle goes forward or backwards or to the side or to the side. So the vehicle can, so the rat doesn't have a little steering wheel, but he has a little driving wires.
No gas pedal.
I wish we had driving wires.
So I'm looking at
I'd rather
this.
just get to pull levers.
Play
than
the harp.
turn a wheel.
There you go.
Okay.
So the little rats driving look a lot like our actors doing holographic stuff.
There you go.
So he's just kind of touching little wires, and I gotta tell you, they put them in the little rats look excited to get in the box, to get in the little Ratmobile. Yeah. It's not like, no, don't make me. The rats are kind of like, let's go.
They're fighting
let's go.
to get in. Yeah.
So they put them in the little rat box, and they begin playing the little car harp, and they start driving all around their little track and all over their little room. And when they perform really well, they get little pieces of cereal. But whether or not they're being rewarded, they're driving.
Yeah.
I think this does reduce their stress. And it's like you're teaching rats hierarchy, okay? So these rats now have cars. They're bougie rats. They're rich rats. All the other lab rats are just munching on cheese and mazes. They wish they had cars.
Yeah, well,
these are the 1% rats. There you go.
Well, maybe they're just trying to drive away from the electric stimulation.
Well, no, they want to get in there.
Pretty soon, the rats that are eating cheese in the maze are gonna break out and end up. Rats will construct a guillotine. We'll have the French Revolution all over again.
Well, I don't think we're going to have the rodent revolution, but they have noticed there's a difference between environmentally enriched rodents and true, what you would call a lab rat.
Okay.
A true lab rat, lives in the little cage, has the little wheel, gets food, gets water, and, it's the end of its existence.
Sure.
Yeah.
The other ones are more pet oriented, so they have, a lot more stimulation. They have a lot more of things to play with in their environment. And the ones that are environmentally enriched do much better at learning how to drive. It takes them less time because they're more willing to experiment. So it's just kind of showing off a little,
So it's
some
rat college.
Well, it is a little bit. The University of Richmond is behind this. And the reason they're doing this is they're looking at, well, obviously driving is something utterly and completely alien to the rodent world.
Rat. Yeah.
I disagree, Alan. I mean, have you seen those guys operate? They could. They're pretty smart. Who
They
knows
are.
what they've done?
I feel like this is the start of a real life Ratatouille.
Yeah.
Next, they're going to be controlling us.
Next thing you know, you'll have a chef hat on, and so after months, the little guys can make the little things drive and go around, and but in studying this, they're looking at stress hormones.
Yeah.
Is this stressing them out?
Huh.
Well, is this an activity that's stressing them out, or are they relaxing because this is something they've learned to do well?
Okay. So
and they're actually
this...
relaxing because they've learned to do this well.
Okay, so I look at this like how there's a difference between driving when you're trying to reach a destination and doing go-karts.
Exactly.
Right?
Oh,
this is
good
go-karts.
point.
This is little rat go-karts.
Okay, so at the end of the little race, you got a little rat that goes, "Hey, I won."
They know that
There's a bottle of champagne.
Yeah, Alan, how does a rat know whether it did a good job or not? Do they
It's
not
the
get a
Fruit
reward?
You cough up the little piece of cereal, and the rat's just all
If
happy.
it doesn't
Do
get
they-
to the other side, it doesn't get the Fruit Loop.
But if they bang against the wall or like if they don't drive as straight as the other rats, do they still get a reward? Because
Well, you can find ways of rewarding the
This
behavior
is
you
the
want.
participation trophies,
that's
Joe.
what I'm saying.
Yeah,
A
you know.
participation.
Okay, so
Jeez.
if they bang up their car, do they got a little pits with a little pit crew to fix it?
A little mouse pit crew over to the side.
Yeah.
I don't think they're quite that advanced
essentially
yet.
what we're doing now is just real life Disney movies.
It's just so cute.
That's what
I
it
wanna
sounds
see it.
like.
This is the Rescuers.
And well, if they actually begin marketing this, and this like shows up at your local pet big box store,
Is
Yeah.
this like the
this
next
will
turtle
be a big
races?
seller.
Yeah, how
that's
is
all
it-
I gotta say.
Yeah,
this,
Turtle races, it's just rats racing
it's
tiny
just
cars.
I'm sorry. The whole your hamster could learn how to drive is so much more
Yeah.
fun
It's gonna be
than that
hamsters,
ball.
guinea
I'm,
pigs.
I'm hearing
was
Benny
just-
Hill music in my head now.
Oh yeah.
For some reason, I
You
want to go
thought
home
they-
and teach the
you
guinea
thought
pig how
the
to ride a
cat on a-
motorcycle.
Yeah.
You thought the
exactly.
cat on a Roomba was cute. Wait till you see your rodent going through your house, going beep beep, and driving all
It's
over.
Stuart Little.
It is. It is.
They're little tiny little rodent
So,
hands.
like I said, just
Alan.
one of the cutest little science stories, and there is a serious side to it. There is a serious side because this is such an alien activity. They're looking at it for possible research into things like schizophrenia or depression, because this is a totally alien activity, and if you learn to do it well, it's relaxing and it's fun, and they look forward to doing it, and
Sure.
So do we need to reward drivers with
Cereal?
something at the end of their drive or something? Is that the idea?
as
or-
we
if I
happen-
got Fruit Loops everywhere I went, I'd be so happy.
Yeah, well, see, if you stopped in time at the red light and the little thing said "ding," you have a Fruit Loop.
No,
I
but
think that would drastically improve
We
drivers
do that
in the
now.
city.
Insurance companies have like the
drive time.
the
I
drive
wouldn't
time
call
thing
that
that
rewarding
you-
me. I think that's.
I mean,
they
it
hike
actually
up their
needs to, like,
prices,
you know,
and then they're
Santa-
like, we'll give you a reasonable price monthly thing if you drive extra safe. But I think it's.
I think
mean,
it
that's
needs
true,
to
but-
physically, like Santa's sleigh, pop up a cookie.
yeah.
You do, you don't.
Little
run-
confetti.
saving you money. Here's food.
Yeah, there you go.
Technically saves you money. If my car was giving me food, I wouldn't be paying for it.
If your car's giving you food, like where did that food come from?
Well, you could
You
stop
need
by
to
the
know.
insurance company to have the reward stations changed out and reloaded.
Alan, the only concern I have is what if they advance to the point where they could teach these rats to drive like little mini submarines, and then they could Putin could get a hold of them, drive
There
these
we go.
things, have the rats drive into the CIA.
I'm ready
Hold on. Cut his mic. We're just going.
Well, we got to think in terms.
I'm ready
There's
for the
got to
rat
be
wars,
reasons for
baby.
this.
He's got to have a conspiracy nation in here somewhere.
I don't know. It sounds like an unnatural activity, but
It is. That's the point.
So
Okay.
is so many things.
So
mean,
can we
here
teach
we are.
pigeons to fly planes now?
We've actually had the pigeon fly a bomb capability for decades.
No, just have them fly a plane.
Heck
You know,
yeah,
they don't want to fly
baby.
no more.
well,
They're
that'll
lazy.
emasculate them, Mr. Robert. They,
Yeah,
they,
wait.
they need to fly.
And
on
we'll
their
get
own.
dolphins and teach them how to drive submarines.
There you go. I'm concerned, but anyway.
All right, guys. I think we're going to wrap this segment up.
Thank God.
And we're going to go.
Boom!
We're going to wrap up our little rat race, and next time we're going to go talk about the stars.
Geek Tank Radio energized by
Dark Oak Press and Media, an indie publisher and media provider offering everything from Alice in Memphis to mystery to young adult and everything in between. Get the latest at darkoakpress.com.
More Below and on 1019kissfm.com. Keyword Geek Tank. Gadgets,
Gizmos?
games.
Oh my.
These guys got their hands on it in the tank. Geek Tank Radio is on.
All right, so this week, normally there's a lot of weeks where we don't have a whole lot of gaming news to
Yeah,
cover.
all right. So, yeah.
We usually have to I don't want to say scrounge, but
No,
there's some weeks
That's
where we
the
just
right
have
word.
to, yeah.
No.
We have to,
scraping the
we, have,
bottle.
we have to scrounge for some gaming news, right?
Right.
This is not one of those weeks.
Yeah. That we have a plethora.
We have a plethora of gaming news this week.
And thanks to Bethesda.
Would you say
Thanks
I have
to-
a plethora?
Thanks to Bethesda.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, we'll cover the good stuff first.
Okay.
Relatively good stuff, not horrible
The
stuff.
decent stuff.
The not horrible stuff. Last of Us 2 has been delayed back to May 25th.
How do we feel about this?
I think it's good.
I
think it's great.
I'm fine with it.
Okay.
We've waited this long. I'd rather it be
I'm
really good.
of the opinion that
and finished.
as long as they're still giving us an actual tentative date,
Right.
Yeah.
Instead of just being like pushed back until further notice.
Yeah. Right.
It's like when
like
is
they did,
further
like they
notice?
did with Days Gone, or like Andy has said off air, Kingdom Hearts 3. I know there's a lot of people who love those games, but
It was 17 years from 2 to 3 for
Yeah.
Kingdom Hearts. And
right, and the majority of the people I know who were really excited about Days Gone, by the time it finally came out, just didn't care anymore.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like this is more akin to God of War.
Yeah,
When
God of War got
pushed
pushed back 3 times.
Yeah.
And look at the game that we got because of it.
Right. I mean,
Like-
I would much rather them put that time to use
Yeah.
than sit
Same
there
thing
and go,
with like Red Dead Redemption 2.
Right,
Red Dead got-
right, Red Dead.
Yeah.
got-
Well, yeah, but I still feel that with Red Dead 2, they just went too far.
Yeah.
Horse shrinkage. I
Yeah,
don't need to
horse.
see that.
Yeah, nobody needed horse shrinkage.
No, we really didn't.
Rockstar, nobody needed that.
But if anybody's going to give it to us,
It's
it was going to be
great-
Rockstar.
It's a great temperature gauge.
Wait, how do you know?
How do
in
you
the
know
Old
when
West-
to wear the coat and when
Yeah.
not to wear the
How
coat?
do you know in the Old West when you're cold, your horse shrinks? That's how you know. It has nothing to do with the snow that's on the ground.
No.
How
But the
cold
fact that
is
you can see your
the
breath.
snow?
No.
It's your horse's
Your
fault.
toes are turning black, but
How cold is
is
the
it really
snow?
that
But
cold?
the horse hasn't shrunk yet. All right.
Anyway, Andy, as you were saying.
So that kind of gets like the moderately not horrible news out of
Yeah.
the way.
We're still not happy that it got
We're not
delayed.
happy it got pushed back, but
It's only like 2 or
understand.
3 months. It's supposed to come out in February, now May. Like
we will be happier if we get a better game because of the delay.
Right.
Okay, now for the stuff that's going to make everybody angry.
Yeah.
Number one, if anybody listening to this podcast was thinking about downloading Call of Duty Mobile,
think
don't
they were.
waste your money.
Yeah, stop. And stop playing Call of Duty.
Because first of all, it is a free download on your phone,
Whippy dippy.
right? It's a free download. It says it has in-app purchases.
Like
Like
most
you do.
mobile games.
Like
Yeah.
most mobile games, right? The difference being that this mobile game, its in-app purchases are rigged,
Oh?
and that's not an exaggeration. They rigged it.
How do you mean? What do you mean rigged it?
Okay, so they have like a Halloween event that's going on right now, where you get special like Halloween gear and stuff
Yeah.
to use in the gameplay.
Well, most games do.
Most games do stuff like that.
Homescapes.
Spooky.
Right.
Yeah.
Spooky stuff.
Yeah.
So in order to do that, it's a loot box system. It's a random roll, and then you
Are
can
loot boxes?
Yeah, it's a loot box, right? So it's a randomized roll, and they have the odds on their website of what the percentages are for you to get rare, epic, and legendary drops, right, from the loot box roll. The difference being that people have figured out, because multiple YouTubers have documented themselves doing this,
Right.
that each roll, until you get to the 9th and 10th rolls, you do not get the legendary stuff
Like at all.
at all. And every time, for every single one of them, on the 9th and 10th roll, they got the 2 legendary items that you can get.
Oh, so you just have to get it 9 times.
Yeah, here's the problem. With each successive roll, so like the first one that you do, you start out, it's like 500 Call of Duty points,
Okay.
right?
Yeah, because
Which is like 500 points is like $1, I think, right?
All right.
With each successive roll, the cost goes up.
What? How does that work?
So you start at 500.
Yeah.
By the time you
progressive
get
slots.
yeah,
no joke.
exactly. So by the time you get up to the 9th and 10th rolls,
You're looking
you're
at like
paying
1,000.
you're paying 10,000 points a roll,
Oh.
which
Well, that's
amounts to
$10.
like if you do all 10 rolls,
Yeah.
it amounts to $250.
What?
I mean,
No.
money, money,
And
money.
you cannot, it is not possible to get the legendary items, which are the only things that anybody ever wants in these crates.
Well,
It's
that's
a-
the only way
it's
you're
a-
going to succeed.
It's like a skeleton skin and like a AK-47 that you can get from these rolls,
Okay.
right? You do not get them until you get to the 9th and 10th roll, to
Dude.
where you've spent $250.
Not cool.
So
I'm sorry, that's not cool.
No, and it's literal. It's literally exactly what Brandon said. It's progressive slots.
Yeah.
It is exactly gambling.
Yeah. Dude, not cool.
It's exactly gambling because casinos rig their slot machines to not pay out very often.
The exact same.
Yeah, and we still go to the casinos and we still give them our money and we still play the slot machines because they're fun.
Here's the difference. There's no age restriction to download Call of Duty Mobile, and there's no age restriction to spend money on
Well, and
the
here's
app.
the other thing too, Allie. You could be playing the slot, right? And then I could come up right behind you and play the same slot, and that's the gamble there. Is that then I would win because you just put in like $100, right?
Yeah.
I put in maybe 25 and win your money.
Yeah, but if you know exactly how much you got to spend to get those skins.
It's not, but
I'm not saying that like it's inherently okay and that I
you
love
can't come
it.
in behind somebody on someone else's phone
and play.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
it's like
I know.
like every single person has their own individual slot machine
$250 that they gotta-
in front
yeah.
of them. Right. So there's
No,
no
it's
way
dumb, but like
there's no way that a rational person would think like, "Oh, I'm going to spend $250 to get this skeleton skin for my phone."
that you know of.
Right? I said a rational person.
Yeah, but like
But when you put it in front of them as a mode of gambling,
Yeah.
then they think, "Oh, I can spend $1, and if I'm really lucky, then I get it, right?" But it's not possible.
Yeah. You've already rigged the system. Okay.
Right.
Well, that's Call of Duty.
Yeah.
What's going on with Bethesda?
So Bethesda has also ironed its people by putting out a $100 annual subscription for Fallout 76.
Why? Why would you do this?
I don't know.
I mean, I guess if you're like someone who I know that some YouTubers can buy things like that and put it as a tax write-off if their job is YouTubing. So if they're streaming themselves playing.
But that's only and that's
and
only
Twitch
that's only
players
if
can
you
do
make
it too.
that's only if you make enough money from streaming or
To form an LLC.
Yeah.
It has to be enough a living wage. I mean, it has to be your only income.
Yeah, a lot of YouTubers make.
No.
All of their money.
That's
there's
still
a fair
an
amount, but,
extremely small percentage of the gaming populace as a whole.
Yeah, but if you
But there's a reason why most of your YouTubers
if
who do
little
gaming
Timmy watches their favorite
have a Patreon
YouTuber play this
or a
game
shop.
Yeah.
and their favorite YouTuber is stretching the truth about how good it is, then like little Timmy's gonna beg his parents for it and his parents are gonna buy it for them, and like even if it's garbage, like that's how it's gonna work.
Yeah, but
No.
thing is
you're see. I appreciate the fact that you're here because you're making the argument from the business perspective that that's what they're doing. What we're saying is what they're doing is wrong.
I know it's garbage, but companies are garbage.
In my opinion,
big businesses are garbage.
Big businesses, little businesses, because a little mom and pop place, they'll do what they can to screw you over too. So it's not just the big businesses.
How do you kill a title?
You kill
put
a
out
title,
a terrible game.
You put out a terrible game, which Fallout 76 was,
and then you charge
like
more for it.
Fallout 76 was bad enough that to the point that people who had bought it brand new and had been waiting for it in anticipation were going back to the stores that they bought it from and violently throwing it back in the faces of the people that bought it from.
It was one of the
Well, that's
biggest.
mean.
It was one of the biggest problem games
of last year. Yeah.
I mean, it was buggy. It was
buggy. It still is buggy. They never even fixed it.
So I mean, we're paying $100 for a buggy game.
So
still?
what you get with the $100 annual subscription is a private server,
which people are already having issues with.
right? Which people are already having bugs and problems with their own private servers.
Mm-hmm.
You get a whole bunch of cosmetics and emotes and stuff that you only get from through the subscription. And they give you 1,650 atoms, which is their in-game currency, to use every month. So every month you get another 1,650, which is very, very similar to what free-to-play MMORPGs give you when you subscribe to them.
Right.
So I played Star Wars: The Old Republic for a long time because I love BioWare and I love Star Wars.
Right.
And I was like, this is dope. Let's try it. So I bought it when the game first came out, and it was a subscription game. Right. So I got the subscription, and I'm playing the game. When they went free to play, I kept my subscription, and at that point, they gave me, because I had the subscription, they were giving me coins to use.
An allowance.
They were using me, essentially an allowance to use in-game currency every month to get stuff. And you get more stuff like, you get unique mounts and things like that.
Mounts.
So
Sorry.
we're all children. So that's
our listeners did the same thing. They went, mount.
The Fallout 76 subscription it seems to be very similar to that. Here's the thing. I looked at what some of the stuff that you can get in the Fallout 76 store for certain numbers of atoms.
Okay.
Right? So a haircut
Yes.
for your character,
Yes.
500. A haircut.
So yeah.
It sounds like a regular person's monthly income and what things actually cost in the real world.
Which then, by the way, if you once you buy that haircut, if you then change it, you have to buy it again.
Buy it again.
It doesn't stack in your inventory.
It does not stack in your inventory. Cosmetics for your suits of power armor and stuff. So if you want the Vault Tech look for your power armor, with the blue and the yellow stripes and stuff, that's $1,800.
What?
So that's more than what you get in the month.
Yeah.
With your subscription that you paid $100 for.
So okay,
it's just a paint job.
Also, this subscription's yearly, right? For
Yes.
a whole year. It's $100 for a whole year.
It's the cheapest that you can get it at, or the one that will save you the most money is to pay $100 for the whole year, because you can pay. I can't remember if it was $12.99 or $14.99 per month.
See,
if
what
you
I
just want to pay that.
What I envision happening is that the holiday season is right around the corner. Bethesda's trying to find something to sell to get money. And so they're
because
parents,
Fallout 76 didn't make any money.
Parents don't know that this is garbage, so they're just gonna be like, little Timmy likes to play this game.
This is the point of what we're trying to do. We're trying to get the message out there to people to say, don't spend your money on this crap because it's worthless.
But it's also gonna teach little Timmy the value of saving money. It's
Well,
your
no, except
monthly
for the
income.
fact that little Timmy already has Fallout 76, and he's already said
Learned
this is
the value
crap,
of saving.
and let one friend borrow it, who let another friend borrow it.
Well, I know
they
that.
don't even know where the disc is anymore.
Right. Some dog's got a hold of it.
Not that I want
Somebody
to
used it as a frisbee.
doubt the intelligence of children, because they are very smart, especially gamer kids who play lots of video games. But
little Timmy's BFF's
do you think little
dad
Timmy
used it
is
as a
noticing
coaster.
all of the bugs? Do you think he really cares that much, or does he think it's fun?
Well, the thing is, little Timmy's going to get more.
I just don't know how drastic these bugs are.
I think
They're pretty
that-
bad.
Yeah, they're bad. And I think little Timmy
getting stuck in a wall.
I think what we're talking
Yeah.
about, little Timmy's already gone back to Fortnite.
Yeah.
And he's already gone back to
well, Fortnite's in a
Overwatch.
black hole right now.
No, it's not.
No,
that
it's
was
not.
in 2 days.
It came back.
It's, season 2 dropped with an amazing new map.
Yeah, it's really cool.
I think Fortnite's a cancer, and I even have to say that new map is awesome.
yeah.
Still won't play it.
I won't play
never.
it, but it's still cool. Give props where they're due, But I think little Timmy, who's playing Fallout, right? Let's go back to the core demo.
It's drunk college students.
Right.
Yeah.
And a drunk college student, I don't care how drunk you are, is going to get so irate at the fact that you can't play the darn game.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, because it's so buggy.
When
and
your game is so messed up
and
that
so
you
bad.
can't complete it, and it's not even a full game.
Yeah.
It's glorified
Dumb.
DLC.
Yeah, it's
Lame.
bad.
Yeah.
Boo.
yeah, it's bad. So Bethesda, you suck.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. They do suck,
So-
but it's not
So
shocking to me.
this is where we're left at right now.
Video game company wants to make more money.
This is where we're left at right now. Bethesda has screwed up.
Yes.
Activision, because they own Call of Duty, has screwed up. Who's looking good right now?
Niantic.
Y'all with your Pokemon.
Hey, you can get a ticket right now?
EA
For
with
the
their cool
Colossal-
Star Wars
the
game. That's
Colossal-
the
EA with their cool Star Wars game.
Woo, woo, woo.
No.
We're gonna
right
buy
now,
2
Judgment
copies.
is reserved.
Right now,
for that.
yes, Judgment is reserved right now because the YouTubers who are pushing it are sponsored.
Yeah.
Yeah, baby.
So until the sponsored people are going to lie to you all day long because they want that money. So until we see somebody who's not a sponsored
Like
person,
us.
like
We'll
us,
play it.
Like let's if
We will play the game. okay,
Yeah.
We are going to play the game.
we are going to play the game, and
And if EA wants to send us a free copy early for a review, we're not going to say no.
we're not going to say no, but we're
Nope.
going to be honest about
But we'll
it.
be honest.
We are
about
going to
it.
heckle Andy online at some point. While
I was
he's
like,
playing
we're probably gonna buy
fair.
2 copies in my household because Dylan wants it for Xbox, and I don't like playing on Xboxes, so I want it for PS4.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be playing on
There is
PS4.
only one thing
Yeah.
in this world you should ever play on an Xbox, and that's a game that you can't play anywhere else.
Well, because he's got like a 4K Xbox and 4K TV. I'm like,
Wicked
I don't
dipping.
care. I don't care. I want to play it on
So
PS4. I like
Yeah,
PlayStation controllers.
The Pro can do 4K.
I don't
Yeah.
think he has a Pro.
Dude,
I got a Pro.
I'll say this:
I got a
you
Pro.
could have the most amazing Xbox,
I got a Star Wars.
and
Pro.
if that game has a low res Switch port, I'd rather play it on the Switch. And this is coming from a guy who's a Halo fan.
I'm buying it for the PS4. He's gonna get it for the Xbox.
Smart move.
But Brandon and I are proud owners of tickets
For the Colossal
Discovery. The ticket is granting.
Is this the Pokemon?
This is a Pokemon thing.
On November 2nd, we get the Giant Colossus guide. I've
Reggie
never-
Gigis.
What is it?
All right, you remember Regice and Reggie Rock and Reggie Steel? Those
Yeah.
really the trash cans.
Yeah, the weird thing.
This is basically their version of Voltron.
Oh, cool.
Reggie Gigis is he's like a colossal mythical Pokemon. We don't really care about him so much as it basically is bringing Go Fest home.
Oh, cool.
well,
And yes, it is an in-game thing you buy with
It's $8.
with actual currency, but it actually gives us stuff.
Yeah.
And it's not stuff that'll disappear at the end of the season like most of your games that have your Halloween skins right now.
yeah.
These skins and legendary weapons you're paying for,
They go away.
they go away when the holiday season's over. So not
I
only
think
would
that's
you
so lame. I
yeah.
want it all the time. Spooky forever.
well, it's like when Fortnite did their Batman celebration.
Yeah,
They
Batman
had
went
some
away.
awesome Batman gear and skins and stuff. Luckily, with Fortnite, the Batman skins weren't that. I think most of them were free, but then they went away because seasonal cosmetics. But we get to go. We get to go after Reggie Gigas. Like forever, a year early or several months early. It's gonna be fun. We're gonna play together for once.
We're gonna hold hands.
Yep. Skip through the
Cute.
script through the
Just like we're gonna,
I'll
how we're
record it.
all gonna play Star Wars. Holding hands.
That's going to be really hard.
really actually
All
very
right,
difficult.
play that way.
so
We
now
better
I'm
learn how to play with
all
our
right.
feet.
All of a sudden, I see this. It's like I've got your hand, and I've got Allie's hand, and you've got Andy's hand, and then Andy's left hand is on the controller, and Allie's right hand is on the controller.
Yeah.
And we're all using our brain to make Cameron Monaghan do stupid things.
Yeah.
I was just picturing all of y'all piled in the back of the pickup truck while I drove around as y'all screamed Pokemon crap out of the back.
Oh, we might do that.
Gotta catch 'em all. Pokemons.
We've talked about them,
We've played them.
and now we'll show you.
The all-new Twitch channel from Geek Tank Radio is here,
Ready Player Geek.
where we unpack and dive into single-player, story-driven games, to fighters, to multiplayer shooters, to tabletop and card games, and everything in between.
And stay up to date with us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Ready Player Geek.
Check us out now at twitch.tv/ReadyPlayerGeek.
Streaming every Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday night at 8 Central.
The Geek Patrol are the who's who when it comes to the geek universe.
They're in a geek tank.
All right, it's that time of the month again. Gosh, I need a new intro. But,
Yes, you do.
really do.
we got our good buddy Jeremy Veldman from the Memphis Astronomical Society, and here to tell us about all the latest space activity. What's going on, my friend?
Well, before I answer that question, I need to get an opinion from this panel on the latest Star Wars movie, but we'll get to that in a little bit. We're finishing strong this year at the Memphis Astronomical Society. So we got a great program in both November and December coming up, and then some good stuff in between, including an event that we won't see again for 50 years, a Mercury transit on Veterans Day, November the 11th. But I digress.
Wait, what is a Mercury I mean, don't just gloss over that.
Okay, so every once in a while,
like bait, Joe's gonna hit it. Don't worry about it.
every once in a while, one of the inferior planets, which is either Mercury or Venus, because they're closer to the sun than the Earth is, crosses the disk of the sun, and you can actually see this. So on Monday morning, November the 11th, at dawn, as the sun comes up, this Mercury transit will happen. So we will have telescopes out at the Shelby Farms Visitor Center with, of course, solar filters on them to look at the disk of the sun and see this little black disc of the planet Mercury crossing it. So that's Monday morning, November the 11th.
Okay. Hey, could we see this with our... Because I still have my glasses from the eclipse. Could we look at it with those?
No. Well, you'll need
Why
to
are you
magnify...
looking at me that way, Brandon? I think that's an intelligent question.
Why do you always have to bring up the fact of how I look on a radio show, Joe?
I bring the listeners in. So you can't do... You won't see anything if you do that?
No, you're going to need to magnify.
dude.
You're going to need either a telescope... Well, I do have some sunoculars. Those are basically binoculars that are solar filtered, so you could see it that way, too.
Yeah, Brandon. See?
But not with a regular...
Yeah, Joe, go out there with your nice eclipse glasses. See how well you can see anything. The first thing you're going to see is me clocking you upside the back of the head.
And that only happens every 50 years, huh?
Well,
I thought it would happen more often, but...
Well, the last one was in 2016, so we did have a Mercury transit 3 years earlier, but the next one won't occur for another 50 years.
How long does it last?
Which means most of us won't be here.
Well, I'm going to be here. I don't know about you guys.
How long does it last? Like from one end to the other? So, how long does it take to cross the path of the sun?
Well, I'm told that there are 2 points of contact. I got to look this up, but it's going to be most of the morning. So from about dawn until roughly noon, you'll have a shot at seeing some of it. So
that sounds pretty cool, man.
Yeah. So anyway, that's the 11th of November. The 1st of November, which is a week from today, is we have a NASA speaker coming in for our next general meeting of the Memphis Astronomical Society. And he's a young guy, recent graduate with a PhD, and his area of specialization is space weather.
Oh.
And this is kind of intriguing because you would think that the Earth sits in quote-unquote splendid isolation from the rest of the solar system.
No, Alan's taught us well enough to know that's not true. So
anything could be further from the truth. We're actually a part of the sun's extended atmosphere, or corona. So events on the sun, especially today, have an effect on events on Earth because of all the technology today. And this particular individual studies that. It's called space weather. There's an entire area of NASA devoted to studying the sun and trying to get a better grasp on how solar activity, especially if we have a geomagnetic storm, could affect life on Earth. Now,
that's like solar flares messing with radar technology.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Now, it's been relatively quiet recently. The last solar cycle, my understanding is not a whole lot has happened, but in the recent past, we have had some pretty bad geomagnetic storms that have affected, our technology on Earth, including a large section of the power grid in the northeastern United States and Canada being knocked out.
I seem to remember that. But what would a geomagnetic storm do back before we had all like what would it have done 200 years ago? Would we have even noticed it? Or
well, 1859 there was a bad one called the Carrington event. In fact, it was so severe that there were auroras seen in Cuba, as far south as Cuba at that time. At that time, there was almost no technology except the telegraph. But it overwhelmed the power lines for the telegraph at that time, and telegraph operators were actually electrocuted. They saw sparks coming up from their telegraph machine. So if an event like that were to occur today, it would be catastrophic. It could wipe out the entire power grid. And the National Academy of Sciences did a study on this 10 years ago and estimated that if we had an event like that today with all our technology, the power grid could be down for months, and it could result in as much as 1/2 of the civilized world being annihilated, wiped out.
Wow, that's a fun little bit of news you just brought us here. Well, so what are we doing to get ready for this, man?
Not enough.
Hoping.
Jeremy.
Hoping.
I keep wondering how it's gonna end. So this could be it. So forget Y2K or any of that other. This is the sun's gonna take us out. Basically.
I love how Joe gives a throwback to a 2020-year-old conspiracy theory.
You didn't live through that the way we did.
Yes, I did, Joe.
No, you were a young pup, man. You didn't have. Never mind. Whatever.
Okay.
You were somebody's pup. He had pups.
You were being taken care of. Yeah. Anyway, go ahead.
I know you were there, Andy.
Thank you.
I will acknowledge your existence.
Yes.
Well,
but anyway, that's interesting.
Yeah, imagine being without electricity for several months. No electricity means, of course, there's no communication and there's no air conditioning or heat.
No communication,
but it also means,
no air conditioning, no heat, no refrigeration for your food.
Yeah.
Right, any of that stuff. But also, you can't pump gas, so there goes your transportation. And of course, eventually, the entire logistics system of our economy breaks down, including food to grocery stores. So you can see kind of where this is going. You've heard of a zombie apocalypse.
Yeah.
How about a magnetic apocalypse?
Ooh. Cannibalism.
That's pretty real.
Who knows what'll happen?
Yeah.
Joe.
Hey, I mean,
God's sake, Joe, come on.
Yeah, but Joe always thinks it's
I
like
watch the movies. You know,
Joe's
it's
like, oh man, there's like flurries outside. Which of my kids am I going to eat first?
yeah.
Well, those Gryffindors are always looking forward, so
Well, they better get ready for this,
Dumb.
Jeremy. I didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay. And that's what you guys are talking about this month.
Well, I don't know if it would go quite
That's
that
gonna be
far.
a fun meeting.
I love how Joe tries to roll that back in. So you guys are talking about the possibility of a magnetic apocalypse and cannibalism this month at the Memphis Astronomical Society, huh? That's really cool.
Get your
I'm in.
tickets early.
I'm
Yeah,
in.
no kidding.
Man, I don't
Bring
want
a
to be there
plump
for the
person.
snacks that.
Bring a plump friend. Yeah.
Oh, there you go. All right, so there we
Yeah. Okay, let me get my train of thought back here. It is the day after Halloween, so.
Oh yeah, all bets
Right.
are off. So okay.
No.
So that's just one meeting.
Right, yeah. Well, okay, so that's Friday, November the 1st. This is one.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's next Friday, November the 1st, Christian Brothers University, CC Hall, room 155. I don't think we'll get into the cannibalism part, but certainly the science part will be covered.
There you go.
Now, our December meeting, if you have an interest in or you recently purchased a telescope, that will be a meeting of interest also, because we're going to have 7 or 8 of our telescope operators coming out and actually demonstrating what telescope they use and how to set it up. So this is a more hands-on, interactive type of meeting, not just a standard presentation, but almost a presentation / workshop.
Well, it's
Yeah.
like the DIY stuff they do at Home Depot just for science.
Yeah.
Yes.
Bingo.
Yes.
Yeah, because I've been to your observing sessions, Jeremy, and there's not just one standard telescope. There's all sorts. And to be honest, a couple of the guys, when they were telling me how they set it up, it is pretty complicated. So, I mean,
Yeah.
it can be. But then again, once you get it set up, it's awesome. You know, they could adjust. They once it's going, the computerized ones seem to be the best. They could just hit a dial and zoom in on Jupiter or Saturn or whatever.
Right, the go-tos. Yeah, we'll have one of those there. We'll have a refractor. We'll have a Dobsonian. Well, it's basically 7 or 8 different types of telescopes there. So if you're looking to make a buying decision and trying to decide what type of telescope you're looking for, this would be a good meeting. And that's the first Friday in December.
Cool.
So, but our next meeting is a week from today, November the 1st. And we don't get a NASA scientist very often. So this is a good opportunity to hear somebody who specializes in this area of space weather and of solar activity. And again, it's at Christian Brothers University at CC Hall, room 155. Meeting starts at 8 o'clock p.m. Of course, we'll have snacks there, not the cannibalistic type, but the regular type. I don't think.
Yeah.
And our website is memphisastro.org if you'd like to learn more. We're also on Facebook. We're on YouTube, youtube.com/Memphis Astron Society. You can see videos from past presentations, observing events, and things like that.
Yeah, they're fun. They're fun meetings. I don't know about this space weather one. Sounds concerning, but I guess we all need to be aware, huh? I mean, we start having to stock up, right?
Right, somebody quote a cartoon so Joe will get it quick. Yeah. How about knowing is half the battle?
There you go,
Joe.
So-
Perfect.
All right.
Yeah.
Jeremy, you're the best, man. We will see you at the meeting, and good luck, sir.
Thank you very much. Good to be back, guys.
The Memphis Comic and Fantasy Convention is turning 10 and celebrating in a big way. We're starting Friday, November 15th, back in East Memphis at Memphis Marriott East. Memphis Comic and Fantasy Convention 2019, November 15th through 17th. Check out the stars, Janelle Stevens from Black Panther and Luke Cage. Our Friday night concert, headlined by Kaza, cosplay contests, live cartoons, comic book artists, authors, and one-of-a-kind collectibles you can't find anywhere in the galaxy. Memphis Comic and Fantasy Convention, November 15th through 17th at Memphis Marriott East. Get your 3-day passes or single-day tickets now at MCFC.com.
From the silver screen to your home screen.
Geek Tank Radio is on.
This was not needed, not necessary at all, but I'm so glad we got it.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. It was originally supposed to kick off when you could buy your tickets, but I bought mine about an hour and a half beforehand.
Right. Well, I think the game went long, and so we didn't get the trailer until
all the penalties and all that other garbage went down on Monday Night Football. I'm talking about the giant trailer that was
Bloodshot. No.
no. Star Wars! Yay! We got our official trailer, Rise of Skywalker. The
And
latest
since
trailer.
then, we have seen the
Shut
commercial.
up, Andy. I'm reveling in this right now.
Reveling in what?
The glory.
What glory?
The art of the film.
The art of the film that is Rise of Skywalker.
I think it's going to be great. And this did, I don't think that this is Marvel-centric in the sense that we are getting a lot of scenes that are not in the movie. I think this is pretty much what it is at this point. I don't think that it is, though, as it seems.
No.
Okay,
You mean good?
No, I think it's been great.
You're lucky you're out of reach of my slapping hand.
Allie's got her Mandalorian gauntlet ready.
I'm so excited.
So, can we talk a little bit of theoreticals?
Sure, let's
I'm
go
always
for it.
down for theoreticals.
Okay, because the trailer is what it is. If you haven't seen the trailer, then get off and watch it, okay? Because it is that good.
Well, we've got a lot of people who are
Also,
so
it's
scared
free
of
and you don't have
spoilers,
to
they
spend
watch
money on a
trailers.
bad movie.
I was like, my best
Exactly.
friend doesn't watch the trailers. It was really difficult because we were at a
You
bar
like
after
Man
it
of
dropped.
Steel, go home.
You liked Man of Steel?
I like the DC movies better than the Marvel movies.
That's right.
You have no voice.
Again, I'm really glad you just the slapping hand.
Thank you. Okay, I'm going to start out with the theoreticals in this. I think that this is the coolest Star Wars buddy film ever.
Yeah.
In the sense that Rey and Kylo are one and the same. Not of the same tree, mind you, of the same family tree, but of the same hierarchy of good versus evil. You can't have one without the other. Love and marriage, love
Brody.
and... What? Oh, sorry.
We don't have the rights to that song. We can't afford it.
So, in any event, I think that, and Andy, I kind of presented this to you as well.
And he scoffed
off
at
mic.
you.
Yeah, he did. But that's okay. I believe what I believe. I think that this film, both Kylo and Rey, come to the realization that we have to have each other in order for there to be an each other and to be an existence, okay? You can't have one without the other. Life can't exist without good and evil, okay? The Force can't exist without good and evil. So that they come to this realization together, albeit simultaneously or whatever have you, okay? Maybe Kylo reaches this, hierarchy of, existence before Rey or vice versa. It doesn't matter at this point because they look at each other.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't matter. Because they look at each other and go, okay, we just have to beat chaotic evil. In order for there to be basically chaotic peace, okay, meaning we will fight, we will bicker, we will, have this coexistence, though, in a quote-unquote peaceful way that we can possibly achieve.
Mm-hmm.
But with there being an overarching evil presence, Palpatine, who we continuously hear throughout the trailers, we have to destroy that. We have to destroy that philosophy in order for us to exist and for a quote-unquote peaceful, chaotic peaceful existence.
Balance is what you call it.
I was like, do you think they're finally actually going to bring balance to the Force?
Yes.
They're finally doing it?
I think they're doing it.
They're doing the dang thing.
And I think they're gonna do it until all time is forever.
Wow, it's almost like that didn't happen with Anakin and Luke or anything, and these extra sequel movies weren't necessary. But okay.
Stop mumbling into the mic.
They didn't though.
You're
Because
making a
there
good
was
point.
still a more good or more bad than there was the other.
They still didn't destroy the philosophy that was Palpatine.
Okay.
They tried.
Okay, Brody.
That's my theory.
Brody, I'm going to say this about your theory. I want whatever's in your vape.
It's some good.
Because this is 2 steps away from Jar Jar.
And that's the other thing. Jar Jar's been pulling the strings the entire time.
Darth Jar.
Jar Jar. He's back, baby.
Okay, so I got a quick question. Out of y'all's theory, who's the good guy and who's the bad guy?
Yes.
C-3PO.
All of them.
No.
C-3PO
Everyone.
is becoming
No.
a sentient being in the sense that he's becoming one of the other machines.
No, I think that
Troy
they're
Tar
just.
sentient being.
I think they're just wiping his memories again. The old classic
All right,
memory wipe.
Let me throw this at you, Andy. We're just going
Okay.
to sit on the 3PO thing for a minute.
Okay.
Do you remember the story of IG-88 that led up to the destruction of the Death Star? Since JJ likes to retread.
Kind of.
Okay,
not
so
really.
IG-88, which he's the Banff robot bounty hunter.
Right.
All right.
The
so-
assassin droid.
Yeah. So there's 4 of him.
Right.
There's A, B, C, and D.
Right.
A got destroyed, B got destroyed, C got destroyed. D uploaded himself into the Death Star 2 and was actually more prevalent in the dropping of the shields than the Rebels were.
Right.
And of course, this is expanded
Yeah.
universe. But
Yeah.
JJ likes to steal things from the expanded universe and stick into his movies.
Right.
I think what's going on is that 3PO is going to become one with whatever this big weapon is in order to destroy it.
Well, I think all of the ships have the big weapon. I think all of the Star Destroyers that you see rise out of the ice, they all have like a giant turret at the bottom of them. I think that's more
It's
than
probably okay. So, all right, you guys remember from The Last Jedi? God, why am I remembering that horrible film? But
because it was great.
It was amazing, and you still have no taste.
No.
I didn't go that far.
At
He
the
has
end
taste.
at the end of The
He
Last
does.
Jedi, they had that one. The First Order had that one piece of. All they called it was Death Star tech because Rian Johnson's a hack, but it was designed and supposed to destroy the door, and presumably it was like one of the multiple beams that come together to form a super laser. Right. Presumably, I'm going to assume that they've also stuck the rest of those on the various Star Destroyers.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll go with that. That's cool. Yeah, I'll go with that. By the way, speaking of the Star Destroyer scene, how about did anybody else see all the various ships from the incantations of Star Wars throughohout time?
Yeah, like
there was the Rebels ship.
There's Rebel ships. There's didn't they have
Kyle
like
Katarn ship is in there?
Freaking
There's a Mandalorian
Republic.
ship
They had
back in the
Republic
little corner.
Star Destroyers.
The thing
in there.
is,
they weren't called Star Destroyers.
and here's where you're right, Brady. Here's where you're right. They are going to have to come together.
We're all in this together.
But because they're going to try and defeat this giant evil, but they're doing it for selfish reasons. Of course, well, okay, so the resistance not really for selfish so much as they're looking for peace. Blah blah blah. The First Order, the alt-right Nazis of the Star Wars universe, know that if they don't get rid of the big bad, they can't supplant it and become the ultimate force in the galaxy. That's the only reason that Kylo and Rey are working together. But it's because Palpatine wants them to. Everything you've seen in the 2 trailers, you've seen Rey go dark, and you see her in her Sith robes with her double-bladed lightsaber that folds
It's
out.
Dagobah.
And anybody who bitches about that, oh, why did they do this? You didn't watch Rebels.
Right.
It's one of the many lightsabers that shows up in Rebels.
Yeah.
It's also cool.
So
it does look really cool. I'll give you that one.
So, and then of course in this one we see a lot of stuff where Kylo and Rey are working together, and it's all bright, and it's like white backgrounds, and they strike down the
Adam
ghost.
Driver's got his shiny face.
They strike down the
him.
ghost of Vader, and that's where Palpatine is manipulating the 2 of them.
Kylo becomes one of the vampires from Twilight.
Oh,
I don't
He's
think
twinkling.
Brody,
Throw him out.
glowing.
I got a good question.
Andy's anger and dislike of this is more prevalent or more important to this conversation than your new theory. Stop it. No Twilight.
All right, I got a quick question here. I had a 9-year-old, which is my granddaughter,
chewing on people.
had asked a good question while watching the trailer. If Kylo Ren is dark as he's supposed to be, why does he not cut the person in half instead of clotheslining him and throwing him to the dirt?
Because
I
he's
don't-
not bad always.
I don't think that he's as dark as.
No.
he's-
No.
I don't
Okay.
think so.
I will. This
Okay,
is what
so
I will
back
say
to
about
who's
this
the
movie.
good guy, who's the bad guy?
All right.
This is what I will say about this
C-3PO.
movie.
He's the good guy and the bad guy, and it all.
The only way to make this story work is to have a redemption arc for Kylo Ren. There is nothing else about this story that vaguely makes sense. Rey is not a hero character. There's nothing about her story that's vaguely interesting. There's nothing about her story that makes her into
She
a
hasn't
good
developed as a
person.
character.
She has no character development. She's a blank slate. She has been the whole time.
She's
Kylo Ren is the
Anakin
only
Skywalker.
character. Kylo Ren is the only character in this movie, in this sequel trilogy, that actually has any character development and any depth.
On the real though, like real theory, like I'm not just spitballing here. I
Okay.
want to see Rey go bad and Kylo go good. Like I want that.
No, one of them's got to die.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like
No.
I would.
One of them has to die, they're not going to end the saga with one of your main heroes going evil. Disney won't do that. That's like Disney trying to make an X-Men movie based on the stuff that's in X-Men right now. It's not going to happen.
Right.
So, here's the thing. He's going to manipulate him. He's going to have Rey saying exactly what she wants, expects from Kylo, what she wants from Kylo, what she desires from Kylo. And that's him coming back to the light. Palpatine's going to manipulate Kylo into giving him everything he wants. He's going to go see Rey go dark. It's all going to be part of the test. They're going to come together thinking that they now have the answer in order to turn the other and the rest of their stuff to the dark or light. And that's where Palpatine says, coming together will be your undoing. Because the easiest way to get rid of your enemies and
to marry them?
And the people who are close enough to you that they may take your is to get them close and destroy them all. Kind of like what we were planning to do with Alien Stock, but we couldn't get the budget to go.
Right.
I mean, I see that.
Well, I mean, especially this is coming from all of this is coming from a character who decided that the best way to secure his power in the galaxy was to create a big freaking moon that could blow up a planet because it could take out all of his enemies at once.
Yes.
Like, same dude.
We're going to blow up the teddy bear planet.
I do think that
this fully functioning Death Star. Everyone will hate me. No more teddy bears.
Couple things in the trailer, like when 3PO says, "I'm taking one last look at my friends." I immediately went, "None of your friends are there."
Oh, wow,
yes. I'm sorry, none of your friends are there. Disney killed them all.
Where did Star Wars? Show me on the Chewbacca doll where Star Wars touched you.
I can show you where Ryan Johnson touched me wrong.
No, but
yeah, but you felt that way after watching Looper and got all excited about Joseph Gordon-Levitt looking like Bruce Willis.
That was kind of impressive.
That was awesome.
I'll give that one.
Come on.
He touched you in the same place, just with a good touch, bad touch. I got you.
Let's see.
It was so bad I liked it.
There was. Oh, right.
I could hear
doing the whole thing of I can appreciate doing Palpatine again. Bringing him back this way, I feel is really lazy.
Did you want them to raise him from the dead?
I wanted Snoke to be Palpatine.
Well, maybe he was.
Or Plagueis, either way.
I was going to say, how do you know he wasn't?
Yeah, it was just a hologram.
Because Palpatine
He wasn't a hologram, he was a clone body.
Because Palpatine wouldn't have got punked out like that.
Because that wasn't Palpatine. That was just a dummy.
Also, how do you know that's not part of his bigger plan?
That would be dumb.
Hey, did you...
but okay, I think Palpatine...
I have to tell you this, kid, but you really got to work on the long con.
Long con? I think...
I mean, I've been pulling one on you for 20 years.
I think Palpatine's mastered the art of force...
projection?
No, not projection.
Possession.
Possession. Thank you.
Well, yeah, that was always one of his powers.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. And so he just possessed Snoke, and then when he got punked out, it's only because Snoke was a punk anyway.
All right, no. See, here's the thing. Look at the body. Snoke was a clone of Anakin's body. Look at the scarring.
Okay.
The theorists out there were right about that. And what do? You use something that would easily manipulate a child.
Yeah.
No, what you do?
Something that looks
is
like
you
his
use
grandpa.
the power of the mouse, and you throw a voice in that you know is going to re-stimulate all of those you have left behind.
Yeah. No, those people are still whining.
Yeah, I was like, leave him behind. I don't care about him.
Well, the mouse does because they want their 1250.
And he got left.
But that's okay.
We'll come back for you, buddy.
No, they won't.
The way to tie the movie up is to
Luke Skywalker be Snoke.
Yeah.
Is to take the original basket. Not movies 1, 2, and 3. Let's go back to the chronological order of 4, 5, and 6. Let's take the original basket. It is. Take the original basket, put a nice bow around it, and let's run with it. That is what we're going to get in this 9th movie.
I am your father.
Well, he's going to be his grandfather.
I'll tell you this. What we're really going
next, Palpatine's your uncle.
What we're really going to get is we're going to get a crawl. We're going to get some amazing stuff. We're going to get a recreation of the Charge of the Light Brigade, and when it's all said and done, we're going to have numb asses.
How about the horses?
255. I just said the Charge of the Light Brigade. It's
Oh, my God.
255 minutes right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna laugh.
Can we get a Star Wars version of William Tell when that's going on? Or Bonanza. Oh, let's do it to get a Bonanza throwback Star Wars. Come on, Williams, you can do that.
Yeah, it's just John Williams with all the endless violins that he does.
No, he's gonna go Python on this.
I just want to know which
coconuts.
characters.
C-3PO.
Whoa!
All right, here's my actual theory.
This is an African sweater.
I don't care what direction the story goes. I don't care. It's gonna wrap. It's gonna be great.
It's gonna be awesome.
But you know what? The saga is not truly over until R2 is deactivated.
What if they used R2? R2 as the torpedo that blows it all up? Boom!
And we finally get to see the most vulgar character in any film ever actually say words.
Yeah. Yes. As R2 descends, you see the little buzzsaw arm come out, the buzzsaw go down, and the little robot just goes.
Just a giant middle finger.
No. Okay, if you guys want to really entertain yourselves watching Star Wars movies, okay?
No, I'm entertained enough as it is. Thank you.
Watch Star Wars films, and anytime that R2 says something, add in your own absolutely obscene voiceover to whatever he says. This it works because it will still be relevant to whatever C-3PO throws back at him.
The Daycare scene is elevated to a whole new level.
Yes, completely doesn't change the movie at all. Just makes it way funnier.
Yeah, but if you give him a voice, we'll have to change the rating on the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, not necessarily. They're all rated PG, except for Revenge of the Sith.
PG-13.
Up until the original 3 movies were all made before. When did PG-13 come out? 86, something like that. 87,
88, something. Yeah.
Yeah. So all 3 of those were PG. Airplane is PG and it has boobs in it.
That's true.
80s PG was like you could do basically whatever you wanted.
Yeah.
Just had an age category. That's all.
Pretty much.
And that PG age category was 8 to 34.
Right.
Anyway, I'm excited about the movie. Did I need this trailer?
No.
I think we can all agree, right? We were all going to go see this movie, hell or high water.
All the important ones.
Well, believe it or not, there's more hype on this movie. Having a comic and toy store, I got a lot of younger girls that I remember back when Empire Strikes Back come out, all the boys were excited to go. I have more girls talking about the trailer in the store than we have guys.
Yeah, that's baby.
Exciting. So you got a whole different genre that's ready for this movie.
Different demographic.
Right.
That is a good thing.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Especially
maybe I can finally get my daughter into Star Wars.
Exactly. There you go.
Yeah, she'll like this one, and then when you say, "Yeah, but too bad that other one," and she said, "Yeah,
Shut up, Dad.
Shut up."
I'm waiting for your daughter to look at you and go, "That father." In her little childish Palpatine voice, and you come in and go, "All right, Alan, we got to talk. What is this child going to pull next?"
Okay, guys.
What do I do now?
Or she'll come in the room and go, "Are you my father?"
There's a Coke can floating across the living room.
Anyway, I can't handle this anymore, Brody. You're either gonna squeal, Andy's gonna grumble, or Allie's gonna attack one of you. So I think we're just gonna go ahead and wrap this episode up, and when we come back, we're gonna see what kind of deal Mr. Robert has for us.
Deal.
Geek Tank Radio energized by
Dark Oak Press and Media, an indie publisher and media provider offering everything from Alice in Memphis to mystery to young adult and everything in between. Get the latest at darkoakpress.com.
More below and on 1019kissfm.com. Keyword Geek Tank. Their superpower is knowing everything in the geek universe. Geek Tank Radio is on.
All right, how about another Memphis Comic and Fantasy Convention update?
What is that?
Anyway, okay, I don't know. That threw me off. I don't have a wisecrack for you, Brandon.
That's okay, Joe. It's early in the morning.
Now, after a busy weekend of Friday and Saturday, of course, it's all pedal to the metal, and Sunday is a little more relaxing at the convention.
It's true, but it's also probably the biggest show we have.
Yeah, we hold a little back so that on Sunday, we have really one of our biggest activities, which is Let's Make a Deal with the amazing Mr. Robert, who we have here in the studio.
Welcome, sir. Hello, everybody. This is the amazing Mr. Robert here to bring you an update on Let's Make a Deal Daycare style.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody is watching the new Joker movie and everything, so I went in my archives and I dug around, and sure enough, I am going to be giving away an actual real photograph of the real Joker 90% of us grew up with, who is Cesar Romero, autographed in green. And if anybody ever has found one, 90% of the time they're not autographed in green, or is he in the Joker costume?
That's so he's in the Joker outfit.
He is in the Joker outfit, and it's autographed in green.
I can confirm this thing has been in my hands. And if it wasn't for the fact that Mr. Robert had it, I'd have knocked out whoever else would and probably run away and ended up in jail.
Okay, now with that said, not only do I have that, I have maybe 30 or 40 autographs from different genre, different shows, from westerns to horror movies to just about anything you need, and all of them are officially autographed by the people. Won't tell you who until the show comes, and this is just one of the minor things that we'll be giving away. So come on out, and it's for raising money for a good cause for St. Jude's, and I'm going to give away $5,000 cash and prizes, and most likely more this round.
Yeah. Don't undersell that, Mr. Robert, because basically you set it up just like Let's Make a Deal. It's very dynamic. You people win random things. You might say, hey, if you've got a $50 in your pocket, come up here and I'll give you this $500 such and such.
Well, you got a chance to win it. Once again, You'll have 3 different boxes to choose from, and what box you choose, the item inside is what you'll keep.
Yeah.
Now, there is occasions that I will offer to buy the box back, and I have offered up to $500 per box. Mm-hmm. And, of course, they choose the box and take the old tennis shoe home, but that's okay.
I was going to say, this year, isn't one of the zonks, Weasel comes to live at your house for 6 months?
I'm hoping a year. Or one of the zonks might be you can do Weasel's laundry. There you go.
No, thank you.
Thanks.
Since it's all sugar-coated from a donut factory.
I was like, he's a donut chef, man. I don't want to see those clothes.
The ants come with it.
So much sugar.
Yeah. Well, I mean, where do you find this stuff, man? You have this knack for acquiring very random things and very unique items. So
he can't give away.
He's a magnet. He's a karma magnet.
Yeah. Always things come walking to me due to the fact of karma. I live by karma. Do good things and good things come to you. And every time I do something for somebody, the next day something will walk in the door that I'm definitely after. I even acquired, for you circus buffs, I have an old program from the Ringling Brother Barnum and Bailey Circus before Siegfried met Roy.
Boy, how far back does that go?
It goes back a ways. And the cool part about it, even though the book's rough, when you open it up, the actual Ringling Brother poster with only Siegfried on it is in the center of the book.
Still intact.
Which can run anywhere from $400 to $500. We found out.
Now I don't know how many of our listeners have been into your store, but I'm going to give them a little bit of breakdown on this.
Okay.
I walked in there to deliver posters and postcards to you because you always do a lot of promotions for us. And I've been in there before, but it doesn't matter. Every time you walk into the store, all of a sudden you're an 8-year-old kid again, because somewhere on these shelves are the exact toys you coveted as a child. If you didn't have it, you had a friend who had it, and you were very jealous of them having it.
That's true. Yeah.
And it doesn't matter what your current age is, because he's got things from, I'm not going to say the dawn of time.
Well, we date our oldest toy selection that is in the shop, not in the warehouse, but in the shop, dates in at 1865.
Okay, so when Alan was a kid,
Yeah.
to
No, he was a teenager then. you know.
to what something that would make Allie drool. Kylo Ren's lightsaber, Force Effects, is in there.
I want it so bad.
Not the cheap one you get at Walmart. Not that that's not a good quality, but the master replicas version.
Right.
So beautiful.
Yeah.
And we have one of those in there. We also have Luke Skywalker's sword that sits behind the counter. I have on the wall is an original 12-back Luke Skywalker telescoping lightsaber that would grade a 9.8 in package. Everything from your Thundar the Barbarian to the Herculoids to Bill and Ted in their phone booth, we have it all.
Thundar. Now I gotta admit, I never heard of that one, but that's pretty good.
Oh no,
you
you
never-
have been
Thundar.
deprived child. Thundar the Barbarian made more kids go out and play with girls than any other cartoon due to the fact that Princess Ariel had magic and you couldn't work your sword unless she was around.
Yep.
Gosh, a good thing Brody's not in
No,
here.
no,
There's about 5 double entendres thrown in that sentence.
No,
but, go ahead.
But I'm not kidding. When you walk in there, it's a transportation, it's teleportation back to childhood. I went in there. I was literally on a deadline. Basically, I needed to get Mr. Robert his posters, get him his postcards, and then I was supposed to come back because I had errands I needed to run back
But he
in town.
fell in the abyss for 2.5 hours.
And I was in there for 2.5 hours, watching people come in, get excited about what he had in the store, while the Muppet Show was playing in the background, and we watched the episodes with Madeline Kahn and Dom DeLuise and Bernadette Peters, and it's just like, you lose track of time. It's like, Joe, it's like you going into Home Depot. You don't realize you've lost 4 hours of your day.
Yeah, looking at tool. No, but Brandon, you're exactly right. I've done the same thing, which is probably one of the reasons I don't go there as often as I should, because I go in there, I'm like, I'm going to give him some posters, I'm going to say hello, and then I got to go back to work. And then 3 hours later, I bought like $100 worth of stuff that I can't live without, and I spent all day looking at collectibles and everything. But it does suck you in there.
Yeah.
Hey, but I will say this, Mr. Rock, you give us good deals,
Well, we're not
would've
eBay.
cost-
We
yeah.
want to find it a home.
Yeah.
I don't care if it ever, whether we sell or not, but when somebody comes in, they pick up a toy and you see the little shaking and the smile on their face and the tear in their eye, you know it belongs there. So as long as we're making a profit, we don't care about eBay. And I'm definitely not worried about making the money.
I was going to say, you don't care about making a profit at all, because you, at your store, you're within walking distance of a school.
Right.
And on Wednesdays,
every kid that goes to school.
Every kid that goes to the school over there can come over and get a free comic book.
Every Wednesday. As long as you go to school, you can come by and get a free comic book every Wednesday. And coming up shortly, we're going to have people from CW30 come pass out comics. So there's always something to come see. And just to give you an idea, we have life-size figures and stuff from Yoda to Slimer to Billy from Saw, if y'all know who he is.
He's on his trike.
And there's about 4 or 5 Chuckies running around the shop, so you have to pay attention.
Chucky.
But
I love
just
it.
anything you can think of. We used to go out and chase down the old Sears wish books, and my goal for 1 year was to try to acquire every toy in that wish book.
Oh, wow. Because that's a pretty big list, man.
Today we have 13 wish books filled.
Jeez. Okay. Yeah. But you set out for you make a goal, no matter how crazy it might seem, and then you fulfill the goal because you just make things happen. So
Well, that's the fun for me.
Well, and going back to, let's make a deal in the convention, as you told people, the money's for a good cause.
That's right.
It's $1 a ticket.
$1 a ticket
to get into the raffle.
And you could be called on stage more than once.
Yeah.
Makes no difference.
It isn't that hard to win. I got news for people. I've seen people walk in there. Somebody's going to walk out with something.
Yeah.
But,
Well, last year the best thing that happened last year that really tickled me. There was an old lady sitting in the audience, and I had John Travolta's hat from Urban Cowboy. And when I asked the lady did she want it, she thought I was kidding, and then I gave it to her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
Now, Christmas, I got a Christmas card and said that she had more fun sitting in the audience than she ever had on any vacation they took.
There you go.
That's awesome.
So to let you know, in me, the karma is overwhelmed.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, it's fun. And Mr. Robert's a showman, so That room's going to get packed on Sunday. So do we have it scheduled, Brandon?
Yes, it is scheduled for noon on Sunday. That'll be November 17th at the Memphis Marriott East, right there at the Poplar exit at 240. I don't know exactly how many people we can pack into that room, but I will guarantee you during Mr. Roberts' show, we will have people in the hallway watching.
Yeah.
Who will also have bought their tickets.
Yeah.
I've seen him fill a room. I've seen it with standing room only. I have seen people filtered out into the hallways many times when he has done this.
Oh, yeah.
It's always a sight to behold.
Yeah, absolutely. So
for everybody out there, this is what we're saying. Come see me on Sunday at the Memphis Comic Fantasy Convention, where I'm going to give away $5,000 cash and prizes.
At least.
To y'all.
Yeah.
The people visiting the convention.
Absolutely. So you can get your tickets at memphiscfc.com. You can visit our Facebook page, and we're going to be posting things there. And, hey, Mr. Robert, how do they follow you on social media?
You can follow us on Facebook at the Daycare Kids, Comic Toys and Antiquities, or you can just bing us. Just right on there, Mr. Robert and the Daycare Kids, and thousands of loops will pop up. It ain't hard to find us.
Okay. Well, speaking of thousands of loops popping up, when we come back, we're going to weigh in on the when auteurs attack. That's not a segue, is it?
Not really.
We've talked about them.
We've played them.
And now we'll show you.
The all-new Twitch channel from Geek Tank Radio is here.
Go Ready Player Geek.
Where we unpack and dive into single-player story-driven games, to fighters, to multiplayer shooters, to tabletop and card games, and everything in between.
And stay up to date with us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Ready Player Geek.
Check us out now at twitch.tv/ReadyPlayerGeek.
Streaming every Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday night at 8 Central.
Their superpower is knowing everything in the geek universe. Geek Tank Radio is on.
So, in today's segment on old men angry screaming at clowns, let's talk about this thing where Scorsese and Francis Ford Coppola and that dude who won that French award that nobody cares about, how they feel about movies.
Okay.
Yeah.
And apparently,
because that's all that counts is what they think.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, everybody's entitled to their opinion.
Right.
And
right.
if you're a major celebrity that's won lots of awards and produced product,
Yeah.
you do have a voice.
Yeah. But in this case, it's pretty much the same as the voice that Steven Spielberg had yelling about how Netflix movies shouldn't count and then went to do a movie for Apple TV.
There you go.
The reason why Netflix doesn't count is because they weren't the ones paying him.
It's because Netflix is for not bougie people.
So of course we've got Scorsese who comes out and his opinion is that Marvel films are not cinema. Well, I've seen a lot of Scorsese films that aren't cinema too.
Who's to say what?
I mean, I'm sorry. Taxi Driver is good, but it's not cinema.
Yeah.
Shots fired.
Wow.
Isn't
Just heave that one right over the bow. Okay.
The Kings of Comedy was good.
Who are you looking at?
That's
Am
not
I looking
cinema.
at you? It's like, oh, Jesus.
Well,
You're looking at me? Yeah.
Now, that's not to say that Scorsese hasn't done some amazing things. Question is, does he feel that The Irishman, which is coming out soon, is cinema? I don't know. I think the only thing that really adds to that is going to be De Niro. Because it really, from what I've seen of it, it looks cookie cutter as well.
Well, let's start with you threw De Niro out there. Let's start with Dirty Grandpa.
I love De Niro in everything, though. He's
Yeah,
amazing.
well, it's, all right, let's look at De Niro. Let's look at Welcome to the Fockers.
Yeah.
Let's
I was
look
about
at
to
Dirty
say.
Grandpa.
Oh,
Let's
no.
look at,
Analyze this and analyze that.
Right.
Let's look at Henry Ford and Tentacles.
Oh,
Let's
De
look at-
Niro in Stardust.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Is that movie where that girl is a star? She falls to the ground. Is that Stardust?
That was a Neil Gaiman. story.
Yeah, it's so good. I love that movie.
Yeah.
So
De Niro plays a gay pirate.
That's right, he does.
all right. Let's tie the movies and the books and everything all into the same little bundle here and go. Guess what, guys? A, technology has changed.
True.
B, the audience has changed.
Yeah.
C, what can be produced on the screen now is truly without limitation.
Truth.
We can still watch The Valley of Gwangi.
We could.
We can.
We're
It's
gonna choose
still
to.
on. It's still on. You can watch cowboys try to rope a T-Rex in stop motion, animation at the time, so as every technology has come along, somebody has said, that ain't it.
Well, my favorite story about that is how the original Tron was left out of the special effects category for the Oscars because they used computers.
Yeah.
Yes, they did.
Yeah. Hey, but it's Scorsese because to be honest, he bugs me because he's saying.
Yeah.
I mean, I look at it. He's saying cinema. Well, who's he to say that what he does is only cinema? Because I say
no.
I would say Snow White or Pirates of the Caribbean, the first one. That's
I'm
that's a
thinking
cinematic experience that was
I'm
good.
Gonna say, no, Joe. There's a difference between cinema, which is the art. That is a film.
I was about
the
to
art
say
of
basically
film.
what he's saying is that they're not art.
Yeah.
So
it's
okay.
but there's a difference with that and the cinematic experience, which means you went and saw something epic on a big screen.
Right.
Now, when he was saying this, it's like, yeah, okay, all right, you're not into him.
Yeah.
We saw Robert Downey Jr. I'm sorry, Robert Downey Jr.'s character arc through 3 of those movies.
Yeah.
Is more compelling than most of the acting in a Scorsese movie that's not De Niro.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I mean, I'm throwing Jerry Lewis under the bus there too.
Hang on.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hold up.
No. Robert Downey Jr. brought real people to emotional tears. That is art.
When he's talking, you want to listen to what he's saying.
And yes, he rewrote most of his lines too.
Yeah.
So we know that. So, there is whether you like them or not, whether you think they're cookie cutter or not, there's a bunch of people who work their butts off to put these movies together.
Yeah.
And if you don't think that this is art, that's fine. Art is subjective. While Scorsese was saying, no, Allie, don't crinkle your nose. I'm pulling a Joe here. Art is subjective. Stuff that I think is art, Allie may not agree. I've seen what she thinks is art, and there's a lot of stuff I agree with her on, but there's some that I don't.
Yeah, I grew up. Right. My mom is classically trained as an opera singer, and it was a divide in our family because she hated rock music. She sort of tolerated the Beatles, but she's like, that's not music. And I'm like, rock music is still art. It takes work and it takes talent to do it.
True.
And I would say it's even more compelling in some ways.
And
whatever.
And the thing is, of course, Sam Jackson said it's like, hey, if you don't like it, hey, some people don't like your stuff, and no matter, some of us do.
Yeah.
The thing was when it was just Scorsese and these two guys, it was fine.
Right.
But then Francis Ford Coppola stepped in, and I'm sorry,
who never got a movie done on time or on budget in his life.
And I know that a lot of people love The Godfather. They love Godfather too.
Whose nephew is a massive comic book fan.
Well, yeah. Well,
that's right. Yeah.
But it's like I don't care how much you love The Godfather and Godfather 2. The acting in most of those 2 movies is atrocious.
Yeah.
I mean,
what makes The Godfather compelling is the story.
Right.
Yeah, James Caan could have been played by a cardboard cutout the way they used him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not picking on the actor. Yeah. I'm picking on how they used him.
Right.
Yeah.
And for him to refer to Marvel films as despicable.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right, and he wants to say it is because they're not cinema. They're not they're cookie cutter. They're manufactured movies. They're cash grabs.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Did anybody see Godfather 3? Yeah. One of the biggest piece of crap movies that's ever been put out, which he did only for a paycheck.
Right. Yeah.
So I mean, I'll say it. If he wants to call something despicable, he would be kind of an expert on it.
Yeah.
Oh, but
I think they're sort of one-trick ponies, though. Don't they all make the same kind of movie?
I felt the breeze on that cannonball.
See, here's the thing, and I know you've seen me and one of our gaming, leaders for MCFC, David Glore. Me and him, we rib each other on this all the time. When one of us is upset about something, it's like we just say, "Let people like things."
Yeah.
Well, this is really, it's like you're mad because of the fact that Disney does these things. That it's making them money. Yes, it's making them a ton of money. But that doesn't mean that the guys who are working on, some of these movies are not putting their all into it.
All right,
and when you look at the digital recreation of Wakanda, you can love Black Panther, you can hate Black Panther. It doesn't matter. When you look at the digital recreation of Wakanda and tell me that's not art, you can...
Yeah,
I can't say what I'm saying, but you can kiss my butt on that.
I will definitely grant that the cinematic experience of going to see a Marvel film, that's the kind of movie. Like I remember, when you guys were going to see Joker, and you were like, "Oh, we're getting tickets. We're going to see it on IMAX and stuff like that."
Yeah.
And I was like, "That's not a movie that I felt like needed to be seen on a bigger screen because it's not visually bombastic." You know what I mean? As opposed to a movie like Endgame, which I saw in IMAX like 4 times.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I would agree with you in most cases. I bought the IMAX ticket because I wanted a smaller audience.
Yeah. No, I can see that.
It's like you're
also comfy chairs.
Comfy chairs are great. That's true. That's absolutely true. But I will go ahead and say that
but the artistic investment into something like Endgame or the recreation of Wakanda or the visualization of Nowhere in Guardians of the Galaxy, which all of you know I hate that movie.
Right.
But the visuals in those movies are incredible. The look of Josh Brolin as Thanos, the fact that somebody had to go in there, take his visual performance, and then mold it into a big purple dude.
Yeah.
Like, you see genuine emotion in his face. You see actual, like, investment in his acting.
Yeah.
You don't lose any of his action.
No, not at all.
From the fact that he's been digitally recreated into a 12-foot tall purple dude.
Right.
It's still him, and that's still art.
Yeah.
All right, I want to pick up what you just said, and I want to throw out the challenge question.
Okay.
Here we go. So we have these pantheon of actors.
Yeah.
Known, unknown. You do one of these movies, you join this universe, and we actually have friends.
Yeah.
We are personal friends with people in the DCU and the MCU and the anime world.
Yes.
We have people we have taken to lunch.
Yep.
We have spent conventions with. We have, so are we completely impartial? No, because we actually know these people. But let me ask the acting challenge.
Okay.
Okay.
Is it easier to be a great actor when you're on a set like Claudius, where literally they have spent $12 on the entire Roman Empire? Here's your sheet. This is a toga. All right, John Hurt or Brian Blessed or Cyan Phillips or Jean-Luc Picard all right, here you go. Here are your lines. Go be the world's greatest actor.
Go convince us that we're in Rome.
Or you are in a highly synthesized, dramatic world that somebody is betting hundreds of millions of dollars on.
Right.
And yet very limited scope.
Yeah.
Inside of a helmet or underneath a mask. Or I can go movie to movie.
With the headband of multiple cameras pointing at your face with all these dots that they stuck on you. And you're seeing nothing but green because everything that's going to be put into the movie is getting put in digitally.
You are still now asked to deliver that $150 million performance, and all you got is maybe your eyes.
Yeah. Your eyes and
just your voice.
Yeah.
I'll even
no pressure here, guys, because you tank this thing.
Right.
And have these big bombastic movies tanked.
Oh, and
yes.
And the worst thing about it is when they do, you're not worried. It's not just the executives and the money that's the problem. When you tank one of these kind of roles, you are bombarded by everybody on social media.
Yep. You're taking a beating from every possible direction as an actor.
Anything. Scorsese has done some amazing work. Coppola has done amazing work.
I loved him as the killer vole in Zootopia.
But the truth is the one of the most amazing artists, even though many of his films are bad and many of them make very little money. Luc Besson.
Hey, when he gets it right,
an artist.
When he gets it right, it's amazing. When he gets it wrong, it's still pretty good.
It's like but when you decide these Scorsese and Coppola and these other guys who are jumping on this, modern, comic book movies are bad, adventure movies are bad, Star Wars movies are bad, blah blah. When you're jumping into that, you become those same gatekeepers we've been fighting that tell girls they can't buy comic books.
That's what it sounds. It sounds like
that's
a lot
exactly
of
how
gatekeeping.
That's how they end up sounding.
Very elitist,
it's like people
man.
say, basically what they're saying is, if you want to make movies and you want to make art in movies, you can't, if you want to make movies and this is the kind of movie that you want to make, you might as well not even bother because you won't be making art. And that's ridiculous.
All right, Scorsese, get your checkbook, find John Waters, write the man a check, and let's see what happens. Prove your point.
That's scary.
I think
that is scary.
Allie?
My concern, I watch a lot of I watched all the Marvel movies, all the Star Wars movies. I love them with all of my heart, and I will be at every premiere until the day I die.
Right.
And there's never a time where I'm like, ooh, I even went and saw Aquaman, and I don't even really like DC movies, but I was like, it's still gonna be fun to watch. Like, there's never, when it comes to Marvel and DC movies and Star Wars movies, I always go to them because I'm like, it's still gonna be fun. Like, I'm probably still gonna like it. Like, I'm still gonna enjoy it. But then you have these movies that don't have the big budgets and don't have the big actors and don't have the big like marketing, and I'm like, oh, it's $12. I really want to spend that. I think my main concern is that like movie theaters are gonna only start buying big movie blockbusters, and like they will still get like the smaller movies. Like I get to go see Lighthouse, but that came out a week ago. We just didn't get it because our theaters didn't get it until this weekend. We got like a delayed release, which keeps happening with like artsy movies. Well, like I was gonna drive 2 hours to go watch a documentary about Alexander McQueen because it looked like our theaters were never gonna get it because they just didn't care because it's not our market, which is fair.
Well, one of the things, Allie, and I mean, this is a concern I have too, because I mean, I waited.
I don't want to just go to see Marvel movies in theaters forever. I want to see other movies in theaters.
But without the big productions, without the movies that are making them their serious bank, the movies around the theaters around here, and even in big markets, won't carry the art house films because they need to make their revenue.
Right.
But the other,
basically,
like
they
the
make
other
enough
concern,
profit. They make enough profit on the blockbuster movies
they need
that they can afford
those
to bring in art house movies.
They need the popcorn movies for literally to sell concessions. When I go in and I went and saw Anna and the Apocalypse, which was a very limited run. You know, I fell in love with the movie as soon as I saw it. Tiny budget, you know, no fanfare, no nothing. You know, I didn't even buy a Coke when I went in there. You know, as you go in the Doom, they wouldn't have had that in town if it wasn't for the fact that they could bank on these other movies.
I think my other concern is that like these big production companies, they make all their money from like big movies, and it's the same with the theaters because they make all their money on these. They can afford to make like less money on other movies. Right. But like eventually it gets a little scary that like, what if they just are like, we don't even need to make the smaller movies because why do that? And then it just falls to like smaller and smaller budgets and smaller people, and then we just keep getting like the same 10 Marvel movies.
At that point, you'll eventually have another Kevin Smith in Clerks, where he spent $28,000 of his own money to make a movie that was became a big deal.
But is everyone gonna have the ability to do that? Or like I don't know a ton about Kevin Smith, but like
took out a bunch of credit cards that he never intended to pay off.
Did he have friends before he made Clerks in Hollywood?
No.
Okay.
No. All right. Well, Allie, to jump on that, the marketplace has changed. Yes, movies are making a lot of money. Mm-hmm. Yes, they are. Fewer people are still going to the theater. The theater is actually looking forward. I mean, if you were a theater chain owner, your panic is going to be, what do you do in 10 years when yet another 10 or 20% of people have dropped out of coming to your theater?
Yeah.
And the other thing is, there are now more studios working for companies like Netflix producing content than exist in Bollywood and Hollywood together.
Yeah.
So the ability to go spend $30,000 and make your exceptional break in the system now has a marketplace that will pick up and run
on various streaming services
at the theater.
Yeah, you can put it on Netflix or Hulu or whatever.
And like I've seen a lot of movies on there that I like a lot, but it's just I don't know. Sometimes I want to go.
It's not the theater.
I want to go see a movie and I want to be able to leave and like think about that movie for a long time and not just like 3 months later consume another sequel to that movie. Like I want to, like some of my favorite films have always been movies that have like stuck with me, and I've seen like Ad Astra stuck with me, and I saw it 3 times in the theaters. I can't wait for it to be on DVD so I can own it so I can watch it again and again. Lady Bird I loved. 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri like broke my heart. Like those are movies that I enjoy almost higher ranking in my mind than like a Marvel film. Not that those movies haven't moved me emotionally. Y'all know I cry every time I see one. But
Well, I think the only movie I've been with you at where you didn't cry was Suicide Squad. And that's because you were laughing the whole time.
Yeah. But I think that there is a balance, and I don't think that those men are inherently wrong. I think calling movies despicable is despicable. I think that's gross. Like,
that's probably
hundreds of people worked their arses off to make those films, and they deserve the credit for that. But like,
is it jealousy too?
No, I don't think it's.
I don't think it's jealousy.
I honestly don't think it's jealousy because
It's them being snobs.
these guys
I mean,
who are,
that is-
these guys who are coming out and hitting this. I mean, they're saying this stuff, but the truth is when they start attacking the Marvel movies, what they don't also realize is that they're also attacking, everything that Lucas did as an independent filmmaker.
Yeah.
Right.
yeah,
Everything
I
that
say
Spielberg
every
did that
single
gave him
time-
the ability to make this.
Well, they're bashing
Yeah.
us. We're the
Well,
ones paying and making these
yeah,
movies
exactly.
possible. So
And
they're
it's
telling
just-
us we're a bunch of
Every single time
idiots that
somebody
don't
brings
know.
up like independent filmmaking, the very first thing out of my mouth is Star Wars is the single most successful independent film
Yeah.
of all time.
That's a good
'Cause
point.
The original Star Wars was an independent movie.
He had to
Lucas paid
fight the
for it
studios.
himself.
Hey, you know what? So's Phantom Menace. He paid for the production on that by himself.
you win some, you lose
with
some.
his investors and everything else. Hey,
I'm just kidding. I love Phantom Menace.
I was going to say, you
Yeah,
love
but
that movie.
I do.
don't you?
Even Empire Strikes Back, right? He had to subvert the system to make to structure it the way he wanted and everything.
Because the
and-
studios would have never given him a chance
Right.
to do a movie where the villains won in the end.
Yeah.
You know,
No.
he
So,
in order to get the funding for Empire, I think he already had to sell them on Jedi.
yeah. But like I
Of course,
said,
that's a man who was smart enough to keep his marketing and licensing rights.
marketing and merchandising. Right?
I'd be more impressed with those guys if they would put their money where their mouth. Let's see them make a movie
Well,
that doesn't involve
yeah.
gratuitous violence and disturbing, shocking content, and tell a story
Well,
in a
okay,
different fashion. I don't know
here's-
that they can do it.
Yeah, here's this, Scorsese. How about you make a movie that's not about the Irish mob?
Right.
That's right. Well, and I mean, let's just be honest. Scorsese, he makes some good money, but one of the things he may be pissed off about is the fact that none of the studios would buy The Irishman. That's why Netflix bought it.
Yeah.
They funded it. And they're also funding a theatrical run. You want to talk about good supporters of independent films? Roma, a Spanish language black and white film that Netflix ran in theaters.
It won a lot of awards too.
Months.
It was incredible.
Yeah.
Well, it's all right. Well, when these guys started, they also got lambasted.
Yeah.
Their first movie or two, when they came out, got sandblasted.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of a movie even Disney almost killed, but its release that is probably one of the most popular movies alive today of all things. Bette Midler and everybody in Hocus Pocus.
Yeah.
It's only being shown 400 times this month on 335 channel. I think there's
I still have never seen Hocus Pocus. Never seen it.
Okay, I'm going to take a lot of crap for this, but as far as the way things are going right now, it is a very overrated film.
Thank you.
So you're not going to get the experience you think you're going to because everybody's overhyped it.
Yes.
It is a fun family film, and everybody in it is.
It's not going to change my
It
life.
is camp. It is
full camp.
You ever watch?
It is Bette Midler, Frankenfurter.
You ever
man.
watch
It is
NCIS?
on.
No, I don't like too color heavy shows.
But
That sounded bad. I mean, like, so NCIS Miami is like so orange and yellow.
Well, that's not a thing.
Which one is CSI Miami? Never mind.
Okay.
One of those shows.
Okay.
But like NCIS does the same thing, but I think it's like all blue. I just don't. It makes me annoyed. One of those shows does that. and
It's
all of them.
It's one of those cop shows.
Yeah,
She's
yeah.
thinking of cop shows.
Yeah, she's
Just
keeping
all cop shows.
Now, the
are-
thing about NCIS,
All cop shows are blue. It's fine.
one of the guys who's been on there since the end of the first season, he's still on there today. He's been on the show 112 years. He's in Hocus Pocus as a kid, and I just
Proby.
Yeah. McGee's in it, so it's like I can't help but anytime I watch Hocus Pocus now, it's like I see him, I was like, hey, it's McGee.
Okay, so but who made Hocus Pocus?
It was actually
It's
a Disney
film.
movie.
Yeah, it's a Disney movie.
That they released a Disney movie about witches at Halloween in June.
Yeah.
So needless to
Who are
say,
like looking
this,
to eat children or something.
this
Like
yeah,
it's
who
messed
are
up.
looking. Sarah Jessica Parker is looking to eat children and play
She's
with.
still
things.
looking to eat children.
So you look at this movie and you kind of go, all right, everybody went and made this movie.
Yeah.
And they tried real hard on it, and everybody kind of had this, wow, what did they do to us mentality. But yet this movie, and it's cheesy, and it was low budget, and even its own studio just kind of threw it under the bus. All right, it's 30 years later, And this bad boy is still standing up. And it's
And
a cheesy, cheap, campy movie.
And they've just named the writer for the sequel who wants to bring the original 3 back.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
I think that's amazing. I think it's amazing we finally got around to, talking about Skeksis and Gelflings again.
Yes.
Dark
but Crystal.
But you think of even the Muppet Show and stuff like that. A lot of this was, it was terrorized when it first came out, and now we look back fondly at, this was so good.
It really does come to the point of, yes, there are films that will always that will touch you in ways that you wouldn't expect when you go to see them. And yes, those movies have, strangely enough, and they've latched on to people's psyche. And it's like you think about that. You think about what's 4 or 5 other overhyped movies that we always get slammed with every year about people being super excited about.
Oh, anything Tim Burton that's animated.
The Nightmare Before Christmas.
Nightmare Before Christmas. Yeah,
Nightmare Before Christmas.
Like
it
movie.
has decent songs in it.
Yeah.
Gosh, I hate that movie.
But
it's cute.
It's got decent songs in it, but otherwise that movie is just not that good.
Yeah.
No.
Coraline's good.
However, it strikes a chord.
Yeah.
So is something like that cinema?
Yes.
It's
still art.
It's all cinema.
Bingo. So
That's
that being
the
the
thing.
point. All right, guys, buckle up.
Okay,
enjoy the ride.
Those Coca-Cola commercials before your movie where you watch the Coke spill and then the painting goes up the wall and everything else. That's cinema. It's the art of filmmaking. No matter how short it is, no matter how long it is, no matter whether it touches you in the wallet, the brain, or the heart.
There you go.
It's cinema.
Amen, brother.
Even No More Sorrows 3.
All right, that touches you somewhere, but it usually involves nausea medicine.
Touches you right in the gut.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it does.
Oh.
Yeah, so Martin Scorsese, go pound sand.
Well,
Sure.
it's like, guys,
It's not even that. It's just
fight back.
It's just
Go make me another movie.
All I have to say is, Scorsese, I know you're trying to get people hyped for The Irishman. We're going to see it anyway. Just let people like what they like. And yes, art is subjective. Because if it wasn't, Jackson Pollock would have never made a dime.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Because his first painting
Good
was
point.
literally, he had a seizure and dropped the paint. There, you can't convince me otherwise.
I'm sorry. Like people look at Jackson Pollock and they go, "Oh my God, the art is amazing."
Anyway,
I'm
yes.
like, homeboy threw paint at a canvas.
Anyways.
Threw it.
We've talked about art, but when we come back, we're going to make Allie cry.
The Memphis Comic and Fantasy Convention is turning 10 and celebrating in a big way. We're starting Friday, November 15th, back in East Memphis at Memphis Marriott East. Memphis Comic and Fantasy Convention 2019, November 15th through 17th. Check out the stars, Janelle Stevens from Black Panther and Luke Cage. Our Friday night concert, headlined by Kaza. Cosplay contests, live cartoons, comic book artists, authors, and one-of-a-kind collectibles you can't find anywhere in the galaxy. Memphis Comic and Fantasy Convention, November 15th through 17th at Memphis Marriott East. Get your 3-day passes or single-day tickets now at MCFC.com.
That euphoric feeling when you found just the right binge? Let the Geek Patrol be your stream dealer as they help you find your net fix.
We got a lot to talk about this week with our net fixes. The good, the sad, the more good, the more sad. I'm ready.
I have a question. Are you going to cry during the episode?
I'm going to try really hard not to.
And I actually don't
which
have a
means she's
don't watch
gonna-
one.
Because we could send someone out to get Kleenex.
I think I have a very large scarf on. I just cry into this.
Is that one of those infinity scarf things, or is that just
No,
like
it's
a blanket you're pretending is a scarf?
That's a blanket.
It's basically a blanket.
Okay.
Yeah, but no, I think you're right, Allie. I don't have a single one to avoid this week.
No, everything I watched has been real good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Props, Netflix, for putting out good content.
Well, it's funny because Allie's fixing to tell you about a Hulu show.
Yeah, my one is on Hulu and one is on Netflix.
Okay.
But yes.
Are you serious? Well, kick us off.
Okay, so this week I watched the Looking for Alaska show that they put on Hulu, which I had been very nervous for because as a young female who read John Green books as a teeny bopper because they were so #relatable.
Nobody's going to believe you are your age if you use words like teeny bopper. You can't sit next to Alan anymore.
No.
But I loved
She's a
Looking
teeny
for
bopper.
Alaska.
Okay.
It's one of my favorite books John Green wrote. It's one of the first ones he wrote. I think it is the first one he wrote. Anyway, they've made some movies from his other books. Some are good, some are not good. I loved The Fault in Our Stars, did not like Paper Towns so much. It's real hit or miss. But this show on Hulu is actually really good. If you like a coming-of-age tale and some pretty decent teen acting and a ton of teenagers smoking, it's a good one.
Is that the one on Hulu?
Yes.
Okay, because, Netflix put a moratorium on a teenager smoking.
Yeah, can't
That's
do
like
that.
a thing.
Hulu said,
hey,
I don't care.
Smoke them if you got them.
Pew, 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 pew. Well, they have like at the end of every episode like a little hotline to call if like you know anyone who's like abusing substances or blah blah blah.
Addicted to anything.
But yeah, it's really good. It's really good. I cried a lot because it's very sad, and I haven't read that book in a while, and I forgot how sad it was gonna be,
Right.
and just like kind of sobbed uncontrollably for like 2 episodes straight because I was binging it hard.
So it's like This Is Us for Hulu.
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
And then on Netflix this week, I watched 2 things, but the one I'll talk about because I'll let Brody talk about that Paul Rudd show.
Hey-o.
I watched a documentary called "Tell Me Who I Am." So good, please watch it. It's about identical twins, and at 18, one of them is in a motorcycle accident, goes in a coma for 3 months, wakes up, and the only person he remembers is his twin brother.
Ooh.
And his twin brother like paints him this like idyllic childhood that they had and how wonderful it was, only for them to find out post their parents dying that like it was actually like riddled with horrible sexual abuse and like
Jeez.
terrible things. It's
Wow.
crazy and so good. And I liked it because it was really interesting, and it's like one of those stories where you're like, this only happens in movies, but it was happening in real life. And also like it's really brave of them to like put their story out there like this and like talk about it, because like most people who suffer from sexual assault, especially as children, don't talk about it, and they're even less likely to talk about it if they're men. And so like to have them confront all of these demons is
So
like
glad
really
you had
cool.
a little light watch there.
Well, I mean, this is the young lady who convinced me I needed to watch Making a Murderer.
I love it so much. I like to be sad, I guess. I don't
Lord.
know. But it's really good. I highly recommend it.
Well, I'll go a little lighter for
Yeah.
you there, Allie. Living with Yourself.
So
All right,
good.
Paul Rudd versus Paul Rudd versus the world. And it's fantastic.
Super good.
I'm going back to rewatch it and just to like pick up on little cues here and there, because it's not one of those that's like mind blowing by any stretch of the imagination. It's just a really good story. To give you a little synopsis, Paul Rudd's a clone of Paul Rudd.
Now, it's different though than say the clones in Multiplicity. This is like they take all the anxiety and evil negative feelings though and like put it into a clone body and then bury it in the woods.
To put it in Tom Brady terms, it's worked 6 times. He even says it. Tom Brady in his cameo says, "You've done this before?" And he goes, 6 times. Well,
wow.
Explains a lot. And I have to kind of say, I buy in. I'm all in on this. No, it's great though.
Surprisingly cheap too to get yourself cloned.
Yeah, $50K.
That's not bad at all.
No, I'm like, you know what?
Super reasonable.
I might take you up on that.
That does not seem like the kind of spa I want to go to.
No.
I mean,
it's also in like a really rundown strip mall. It's like
you're like
spicy.
Well, it's so funny because
I'm sorry, I just paid $25,000 and all I got was a hip.
Yeah, I mean, you could have a whole new body for it.
If I'd have only known.
But now when you walk, we hear dun 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 dun.
And you have had this weird lady chasing you around.
We've totally got to change that to our ringtone for when Alan calls.
Oh yeah, totally. But I think it's very relatable in the sense that Paul Rudd's character would act and function the exact way that we would.
Right.
Yeah.
In that situation, like, what do you were going to kill me? Like, this is me, but it isn't you. Sort of.
Well, it just shows. Paul Rudd is one of those actors that I think his skill level is so good, nobody notices he's acting.
Yeah.
It's just
he's so good.
It's just every scene I have ever seen him in, he is just totally at home in that scene.
I know his name is Miles, but I totally don't remember like his name in anything that he does.
I just think about Paul Rudd doing Paul Rudd things.
Like that's
Paul
Rudd.
Paul Rudd's life. Cool.
Like, oh yeah, Paul Rudd's Ant-Man.
Did you not know this?
Not.
They have a real life clone of Paul
Only
Rudd.
one
Didn't you
of
know?
his clones is Ant-Man.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. Because
It's worked 6 times.
I mean, I'm sorry.
Every movie's a new Paul Rudd clone.
How underappreciated I think his acting ability is sometimes.
Right. Well, going from a superb actor like Paul Rudd into a combination of good and horrifyingly bad acting, I watched Daybreak.
Okay, it's on my must-watch list.
Okay,
I watched the trailer for that last night, and I was kind of musing to myself. I was going like, I don't know.
Yeah, I think I had that reaction. Yeah.
I really like. Is this something that I want to dedicate hours of my life to?
I think I'm gonna hate this.
No. Yes.
That I will never get back.
Right.
I mean, what else are you gonna do? You know, you gonna play Spider-Man again?
It looks like a film.
Yes.
I would. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so I it's like all right, I can watch this, or I can watch Castle Rock. Castle Rock's gonna give me an episode.
Oh, they're doing it a weekly thing this time?
Oh, season 2's back. You know, they did it that way with season 1.
Oh, I guess I just caught the very end of it.
I don't know. It was like, did I want to get into something that was like just hardcore, Stephen King mind screwing?
Yeah.
Or did I want to watch something that was going to be fun, light, and goofy? So I went fun, light, and goofy, and fun, yes. Light, kinda. Goofy, absolutely. It's got Matthew Broderick in it.
I didn't know it had Broderick in it.
Matthew Broderick plays the principal.
They should have
the
led
high
with
school.
that.
Yeah, right?
Well, seeing as how everything starts with him narrating, I figured you would have gotten, and then it immediately jumps into the kid. The kid is basically Ferris Bueller in the zombie apocalypse.
with the good cush.
Yeah. No, that's his buddy.
Oh.
Wesley Fisk, who is a pacifist / samurai / doper. He's probably my favorite character right now.
Yeah.
But you've got Josh. What is his last name? I can't remember what his last name is. It doesn't matter because
Josh not Wheaton.
It doesn't matter because Josh Wheeler, but it doesn't matter because they refer to him as just Josh. Anytime someone says something about Josh, somebody else is like, tennis Josh? No. Oh, little Josh with a big truck? No. Gay Josh? No. Other gay Josh? No. Just Josh. That is in every introduction about Josh.
I love that so much.
Yeah. And it is like when you first start watching it, it kicks off with Matthew Broderick basically doing this morning announcements to the students. And you hear him talking about, it's like appropriation, and it's definitely a very millennial / Zoomer thing. Mm-hmm. So of course you're sitting there going, oh crap, and then you realize it's all satire. Oh. It is so just balls to the wall crazy.
Good.
And you've got a character who Josh is searching for. Her name is Sam Dean, and she is referred to as the human sorting hat of this high school. Okay. Everybody loves her, but she's the one who helps each person find their clique.
Oh.
And then the apocalypse happens. And everybody, except for her latest, the newest student, Josh, has their cliques. They go off, you've got the jocks have a very Mad Max-like, society.
Mm-hmm. Heck yeah.
Complete with shoulder pads with spikes and tires and whatnot. And then you've got the what they refer to as the STEM punks.
Okay.
They all dress like Bill Gates. They're all science nerds.
Oh, the STEM.
Yeah. You got the 4-H club.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like they're your rustic farmer people.
Just riding horses.
You've got the disciples of Kardashian.
Are those the like really fashionable ones in the screen grab?
Right. You have the Cheermazons. They're the former cheerleaders who've become an Amazon race.
I love that so much.
And then you've got a 10-year-old girl named Angelica who is a raving, horrible person, but you can't help but love her. And it's just, Josh, coming into, meeting these people and basically building his own tribe in the mall.
Awesome.
But the adults, something happened when these bombs dropped. These adults have become what they refer to as ghoulies. Uh-huh. They're not zombies, but they pretty much act like zombies. They try and devour you. But if they bite you, spoiler alert, it doesn't do anything to you. Good. You have to basically be an adult for this thing to, set off. But they always remember the last thing that they were doing or thinking, and they repeat that over and over again. Like there's a guy walking around a
That's dangerous.
There's a guy walking around a parking lot going, "Is it LaCroix or LaCroix?" Just over and over again.
Me if I became a zombie.
There's a guy outside the mall who's walking around and he goes, "Are they ever going to make something besides comic book movies?" Before taking a chainsaw in the chest.
Yes.
That's amazing.
It is horrible, but it's goofy and it's just a fun watch.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Don't expect any major amazing acting.
Right.
But Brody, you would love the golf team.
Okay.
Because they're like the scouts for the jocks.
Yeah.
But instead of being in the post-apocalyptic gear, they're in white golf shirts and golf pants, and their weapons are golf gloves that have had blades, like soldered onto them. And they slowly, bit by bit, kill off each captain as they.
I love this.
And actually, something you will like, and I want to see Andy try and do it. They have a thing that the jocks, it's their way of deciding whether or not you're gonna die or not.
Uh-huh.
You have to perform on American Ninja Idol.
Oh.
You have to get up the scaffold, and then you have to perform a song for Turbo.
Wow.
That's kind of funny.
I just want to see Andy on top of a scaffold singing his heart out.
Surrounded by 100 Ways to Die.
Surrounded by 100 Ways to Die.
I could do that.
So, I started watching it last night. I've made it through the first 7 episodes.
That'd be kind of fun.
I only got 3 left. It's kind of sad. But yeah.
Andy, what'd you watch?
I'm old.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Let's go to the old.
I'm behind. Okay. First of all, I didn't watch the whole thing.
That's fine.
I watched half of Bird Box.
Right?
Oh.
What?
I got bored
What?
How?
because it was boring.
I wasn't a fan.
Well,
liked it.
I thought it was fun.
It was like, okay, I got to the point where the last thing I really remember was
You fell asleep?
before I left, before I turned it off and left, was they got to the grocery store and they're going through and getting all the food and everything, and then the guy,
that's the good part.
the guy is out on the loading dock,
Yeah.
Yeah, you cut it off just before it gets interesting, apparently.
and the guy who worked at the store, who was like writing the novel and stuff,
Yeah.
like knocks him
Yeah.
out of the doorway so nobody else gets pulled outside, and
Right.
then so that was the last thing I remember. I'm sorry, I think the scene after that is when they're back on the river and like she goes to try to get them, the boat like tips over and they lose all their food and everything, so she has to go like try to find food or something. Anyway, I just
Couldn't stay in it.
no, I couldn't. I wasn't interested in the characters. I wasn't interested in
Cthulhu.
I wasn't interested in the invisible monsters.
You didn't like boy and girl?
I didn't like because boy and girl didn't say anything. Up to that point, they all that had happened at that point with boy and girl was they were in the boat. She had yelled at them a lot, and then
Moms.
and then the girl goes to she says something to the boy like, "There's something wrong with Mallory," and she gets out of the boat and goes like searching or whatever, like ties the rope around herself and goes searching.
Yeah.
And then right before, like you see the leaves, like blowing up in front of her because
You were literally so close to the end.
The invisible
You could have just kept
monsters
watching.
I think
in
you had
front
like
of her or
5 minutes
whatever.
left.
Yeah.
And she gets yanked back to the boat, and
Yeah.
you're like, "Oh, the monsters got her!" But I knew the monsters didn't get her because she still had the blindfold on. So I knew at that point that like Mallory was dragging her back to the boat via the rope, and I'm like, I'm bored. I'm bored
Yeah, you had like 10 minutes left.
with this story.
Can I tell you something? I kept expecting at the end Sandra Bullock to just be sitting in a room with dolls, like in a mental facility.
Yeah.
I want it all to be pretend.
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought it was fun. Would I watch it again? Maybe not.
Yeah, I don't
But,
think I'd
like,
see it again.
I mean,
It was
like,
fun.
okay, I saw A Quiet Place,
Yeah.
and A Quiet Place did that same essential
Yeah,
concept.
Quiet Place
yeah.
is like infinitely better.
Way better.
Yeah.
So
I mean, we talked about that when it came out. Hear No Evil, Speak No Evil came out at the same time.
yeah, so it was just kind of like I couldn't bring myself to make a connection with any of these characters. Like
Coming to Netflix, Do No Evil. It's just somebody sitting in a
The
room.
only one that vaguely got close was John Malkovich's character,
Yeah.
But he's
Love
just
John
too
Malkovich.
he's too much of a jerk.
Yeah.
I was like, I can't.
Okay.
Like there was no, he was just jerk. There was no redeeming quality to him
Right,
that made his jerkiness
But he's like John
understandable.
Malkovich, so like,
But
He's just a douche.
yeah,
just John Malkovich doing John Malkovich things.
Paul Rudd.
Paul Rudd doing Paul Rudd things. Double over.
No,
What did he do? I don't know. He was just doing this.
Oh, he's Paul Rudd.
It's kind of like watching Seinfeld on Seinfeld. Yeah. I had a lot of time to watch stuff.
Yeah,
this
you've been
past
laid
week.
up, Terminator.
Now I have to caveat anything that I talk about with the fact that
You've been stoned.
we have some really excellent post-operational medications.
So what was so mind-blowing to you, Alan? Paint.
There was this
Have you ever
channel.
thought about paint?
There was this channel where all they did was talk about weather.
Oh, well, I do have to say at 3:00 in the morning, with enough of interesting altered states devices attached to and in your body, Forged in Fire is like the most wild show you have ever seen, because stuff blows up and they're hitting things with hammers. And then this one guy wants to stab something, and and he looks at the camera and goes, "It will kill," and you go, "Oh, I gotta say, man." I was a fan of the show before. I've watched it now on a whole new level.
I so badly wish I was like with Stoned Allen now.
Yeah, it just sounds like he had a much better
had a
week than the rest of us.
I just imagine
there
him
were
watching
some really interesting conversations this week.
the info channel
Most
that
of
just
them
like
didn't have other people.
has what
No,
shows
they
on
did.
every other
People were
channel.
calling me. Oh.
Okay, wait. I just need to know this, Brody. When you go to the dentist and
Yeah.
they give you the laughing gas,
Yeah.
right? Because you and me, we're both musicians. We've done the music thing.
Sure.
Do you ever like as you're kind of breathing it in and you start like kind of feeling funny and stuff? Do you ever start listening and hear like, oh, there's like music in the air?
I hear tones bad.
You
and
do?
I mimic. I'm a mimicker.
Yeah.
When I listen to this stuff, so my son
You
does
a
this too.
mimicker? No.
Yeah, so my son does this too. So whenever he hears like a police siren, he'll go, and he'll try to match it because it's also.
Hey, Andy, when you edit that, put some sort of warning. I don't want any of our people to be triggered by like shrill
pause.
noises.
Yeah. So I do the same thing.
Yeah. So I start hearing rhythm and everything. So I start hearing like the AC and stuff going off, and it's like.
All right.
Wow, y'all are wild.
Like-
I'm sorry, completely off topic at this point. Andy, go back and get back into music. You're freaking good at it, damn it.
So, the coolest shows were I wandered I wandered down the black hole of the National Geographic Channel
Yeah,
in
baby.
the month of October.
Aliens.
Oh no,
spooky
that's the
ghosts.
History Channel. Oh no, that's the History Channel. I have caught way too much up on my ancient astronaut theory right now. I know them all. The show that kind of caught my attention this week is a retread show, and I saw I haven't really paid any attention to it until this past week. In Search of
Oh,
with
yeah.
Spock 2.
Yeah, Zachary Quinto is
And now
taking over.
I will totally
and he's
give
doing
Zachary
that.
some mad
You not know
cred.
about this?
I love him so much.
I will totally give Zachary some mad cred. He is not just the voice. They are like, he's like, get in the boat, let's go.
He's so fascinating.
I've kind of come to this conclusion that, when Leonard Nimoy was on his deathbed, he transferred essences, and he is now living inside Zachary Quinto.
I'm here for it.
Zachary
He's
just
the Millennium Falcon of Spock.
yeah, he really is. I mean, there was a
uploaded
little
his
mind melding in
consciousness.
there. There had to have been, because he's naturally very soft spoken and very kind of just very kind of chilled. He's not that uptight character you see in the movies.
He's the Fleabag of Millennium Falcon.
He's just chilled and groovy, and all right, now we're gonna go look at this ancient legend of things that devoured humans, and I just can't wait to go down in this pit. And you're just like,
I love it.
Man, we'll just rock on with your little calm self. So in of what really impressed me over the week.
Very cool, very cool, very cool. Well, now we're going to take a different turn to listen to Andy's lament about sweet, sweet Superman.
Geek Tank Radio energized by
Dark Oak Press and Media. an indie publisher and media provider offering everything from Alice in Memphis to mystery to young adult and everything in between. Get the latest at darkoakpress.com.
More below and on 1019kissfm.com. Keyword Geek Tank.
You're never too old for animated goodness.
From books to the screen, you are in the Geek Tank.
I don't know how you guys feel about this, but for me, it's. I don't want to say that I'm angry. I am angry, but it's different. Okay, so coming up soon in Action Comics, they have decided to that Superman is going to reveal his identity to the public. He's going to give up I don't know if he's. They haven't said if he's necessarily going to give up the Clark Kent identity, but everybody is going to know that Clark Kent is Superman.
We're going to know what he looks like when he's not at work.
Right.
Right.
And part of the reason for this is apparently because somebody snapped a photo of Lois Lane kissing Superman, and the world kind of gave Superman a pass because he's Superman. But Lois kind of got raked over the coals because she's a married woman.
Eating on Clark Kent.
So Superman's gonna kind of be like, no, she didn't do anything wrong. I'm her husband. Like, basically,
it was legal.
It was cool. Like, no, yeah,
it was legal.
It was no big deal. So also the writer Brian Michael Bendis, with whom I have had a love-hate relationship in comics for.
You love to hate him.
Well over 15 years.
Yeah, you love to hate him.
No, it's not that. I've actually enjoyed a lot of his work. A bunch of his stuff when he was doing Ultimate Spider-Man was pretty good. A lot of it was crap, but a lot of it was pretty good. But he did an interview with the New York Times where he was saying, like, Superman making this decision to reveal his identity to the world, it allows him to live out the best version of himself. So I kind of wanted to bring this to the table. I know how I feel about it, but I wanted to kind of get you guys' opinions first. So, Alan,
where do you want to start?
Alan, you essentially self-identify as a villain. How do you feel about this?
I have absolutely no problem self-identifying as a villain.
Not that.
I really do. Okay, well, let's take a look at the basic fundamental of suspension of disbelief in a comic book.
Right.
1, Clark Kent has got to be the single worst identity hidden on the planet. It's a pair of glasses. Right. Now, we have all, as Mr. Robert will get to here in a moment, he and I can change our appearances drastically just by wearing something other than what you expect us to wear.
Right. And we can just we've all as you were saying, suspension of disbelief. We've all heard or read the excuses of various things of how it's not just that he wears glasses, it's that he changes his posture. He completely changes his mannerisms. He's,
And I got an story of, facial recognition still going to pick you out of the crowd.
Right. And we do see examples, especially in the Christopher Reeve performance from the original 1974, 78.
Yeah. A little later than that, yeah.
Superman film. When my favorite scene in that movie is when he goes to pick Lois up for a date and he's just completely like hunched over and he takes the glasses off and stands straight up at the same time, and you go, oh, he's like 5 inches taller than.
Yeah, he did. It was a great job by the actor, but okay, well let's pick on a wide variety of superheroes.
Okay.
Let's pick on the other camp.
Okay.
Of Aquaman.
Sure.
He's just Aquaman.
Yes.
Batman must have a secret identity, or his enemies will kill everybody who knows
the
him.
Entire thing falls apart.
Although,
which
that a fit 35-year-old billionaire would, of course, have nothing to do with the fit 35-year-old vigilante with all the cool toys that cost billions of dollars.
Absolutely not.
Nobody figures that out.
And my favorite part of it is that, like, the Batman cowl could do a decent job of hiding an identity. You still have, like, the whole lower half of the face to look at, but Robin's mask,
follow the money.
Nightwing's mask, nobody looks at that and goes, you know what's weird? Bruce Wayne has a ward in Dick Grayson and an adopted son in Tim Drake, who oddly look very similar to Robin and Nightwing.
You got
it's just all coincidence,
All right, so we understand the hiding of one's identity. of them. Let's totally flip to the other camp where they have utterly and completely abandoned the idea of a secret identity. The MCU?
Yeah, okay.
The MCU has utterly abandoned it, so Tony Stark has to build the Avenger complex so that once you get outed, you have someplace you can live so that, like, your neighbor's not knocking on your door going, I have this lovely young lady down the hall that needs to meet a werewolf-esque kind of person, and you don't have the
the one character that they stuck with that with was Spider-Man up until, spoilers, the end of Far From Home, and that that bugs me because Spidey is the one character who needs to hold on to that more than almost as much as Batman does.
So they're abandoning this idea, and all right, with Superman operates at a higher level than the average superhero.
Yes.
Superman is indeed a planetary force, as Batman has pointed out many times. And if Superman doesn't need a secret identity to keep the pulse of the human race at hand, aka he no longer needs to be the common man, he has the means by which to not be the common man.
Yeah. But the problem that I have with this situation is that idea, that concept, what you just said. If Superman doesn't need to be the common man anymore, which is exactly what he needs, like that's always been part of his character, is
a stranger from a strange land who fit into our society.
Right. He has all the power in the world. Literally. There is nothing on Earth that could stop him if he decided to just
fly through the center of the Earth and destroy it.
Yes. Right. And he doesn't want it. He has no interest in it. He uses it to defend the Earth and protect people when necessary, but all he wants is to be normal. And the whole idea that he would give that up or say,
at some level, you've already given that up.
Yeah, he gives
it up.
At
different levels, your secret identity is constantly a leakage.
Yeah, and he gives it up.
I actually have something on that. I
tag out. Go for it.
Through the comics and everything, I have one question.
Okay.
And I cannot understand why people don't know who Superman is unless he's paying off a security guard every day, because if he left the building, it would be on camera. But he always flies out the window. Wouldn't you be suspicious? Don't you think there's a little security guard going to Clark Kent going, all right, I need another 50 right now, or I'm playing. And then you have comics all through the years going, I know his identity. And then all of a sudden, the person that knows his identity never shows up in another comic. So did Superman take him out?
Or they've been,
Superman took him to another planet.
They get a convenient dose of amnesia.
Yeah, so maybe Superman ain't all what you think he is. Maybe everybody already knew, and he just wiped it out. But there is many, many comics.
Well, I mean, if you go back to 2004, Brad Meltzer wrote Identity Crisis, and they had in that story where the supervillains were finding out the heroes' identities all the time, and then Zatanna would just wipe their memory, so they didn't know. Which, I mean, but the point of that story was that Superman and Batman and like the paragons of the Justice League didn't know that they were doing it because they would have been furious. It's like it's dodging of the responsibility, essentially. Like, okay, we goofed and they figured it out. Now we have to deal with it. It's like, no, we don't have to deal with it. We just erase it. Like they would have been upset.
Let's make a world too.
Right? Yeah.
Let's just change the world.
So, for me, I look at this and go, Bendis' argument that this is letting Superman live out the truest version of himself because he's going to be his superpowered self everywhere he goes. Everybody who looks at him knows that he's going to be... Everywhere he goes, everyone who looks at him knows that's Superman. Even if he's wearing a shirt and tie and a pair of glasses, they look at him and they go, that's Superman over there. That's not what he wants. He wants to feel normal. It's an abandonment of the character.
And it's going to make it even hard because how can he go anywhere with Lois Lane? Everybody's knowing he's Superman.
Right. And that's the other side of the coin or whatever, is that people always talked about like the reason you keep a secret identity is because your loved ones will be killed if you don't. Period. And that's he can't do anything to stop that. He is Superman, but he can't be everywhere at the same time.
He's just going to keep her in a bubble forever.
Well, however, you can flip the script here and say, all right, once again, Superman can provide an environment in which Lois is at least, I would say, 90% secure.
Yeah, it's called the Fortress of Solitude.
There will always be, but there could also be the
She's going to become a
Summerland.
stay-at-home mom.
There could also be the little country estate over where she can,
somewhere in Kansas, and
you can force yourself to have a normal life no matter what level of celebrity you are, and go on.
Sure.
How many intergalactic supervillains are going to kidnap Lois Lane on a daily basis?
How many intergalactic supervillains know that she's Superman's wife in a bargaining chip?
Yeah, however, flip the script. If Clark Kent is exposed, he's outed.
Yep.
All right. Well, now you have. Let's go play comic book time. And let's play technology. And I don't see why he can't have a hologram inducer so that when he does need to be a common person, he can go, because Clark Kent's exposed. Now you don't know who he is. He can now be the little old guy with a beard.
Yeah. But that's still the same thing at that point. Like,
No,
Clark Kent is
it's a
exposed,
temporary
but
character.
now he has another.
But he can have temporary characters. He can now play a character as needed. I'm going all Sherlock Holmes on this.
Okay.
So if he wants to be a beggar, he can now go temporarily.
Okay. Well, this is just
portray this
This
character.
is just Bruce Wayne portraying Matches Malone instead of being Batman.
Exactly. Of why can't that work for him as a future storyline? You just no longer have the storyline crutch of having to switch the character back and forth. Oh, come on. Half of a Superman comic is switching back and forth between the two characters.
For a long time, it was the phone booth.
Yeah. But that's iconic. Like, that's part of who he is.
Well, now there's no phone booth,
because
so
we
they
no
were like,
longer have.
Guess we got to keep him from changing.
Or maybe it's just Bendis' chance to go, hey, I'll be the artist that killed Superman.
No, that's what Bendis has always wanted to do. I mean, how many different event books from Marvel and now DC do we have where Bendis has been like, I'm going to be the dude to shake stuff up and whatever.
Yeah.
Like Civil War II, he did it right before he left Marvel. He did Civil War II. It widely considered to be one of the worst comic book events ever made. And he just killed Tony Stark for no reason. Oh, I'm sorry, he didn't kill him. He put him into a coma.
Okay.
And then replaced him with... And six months later, he's back in the suit. He's awake and he's back in the suit. But it's still... That's Bendis' thing. That's what he wants to do, is I'm going to leave my mark.
So his mark is going to be the death of Clark Kent.
Yeah.
And, I once again, I just see that as...
And it's also like, okay, Clark Kent is now exposed, right? It does not take a lot of effort to go from that point to then follow a logic chain to break down the identities of any number of other heroes. Like, the point of the secret identity is keeping people safe. Right. It is a measure of self-sacrifice. You give up a part of yourself, which is what heroes do. You give up a part of yourself in order to defend and protect others. Yeah. You're not doing it necessarily. In other words, this decision, Superman making this decision, is selfish, and that is the opposite of who he is. Superman is the most selfless character in comic books.
Yeah, I feel like, I don't know if this particular version of Superman's hanging out with Batman a bunch, but...
He is, yeah.
If he's just around Bruce Banner all the time, people are going to be like...
Bruce Wayne. Banner's the other guy.
Whatever.
Banner's
the green one.
Bruce Banner just sounds so much better. Anyway, if he's hanging out with Bruce Wayne all the time, people are going to be like, that's weird. Why are you always hanging out with that millionaire man?
Yeah, because Tom King, for some reason, decided that his version of Batman was going to be a romance. Because, the whole him and Catwoman thing. So they double date a lot with Clark and Lois.
That's not suspicious.
No, not at all. Why is this billionaire hanging out with a cat burglar and going on random dates with a reporter from Metropolis?
Yeah, well, it's...
Two reporters.
Two reporters from Metropolis.
Yeah, welcome.
They're fun.
All right, welcome to the thin veil of comic book-dom, in which I will put it as, at the end of the day, it's a comic book.
Yeah.
At the end of the day,
okay, Alan, we're both storytellers. Does that not feel disingenuous to the reader?
have you not followed any hundreds of streams of these where every new writer wants to tweak some aspect of the personality of the character they were given? To the point that periodically you get so far off track.
They tweak it a little too hard.
They go reset and we go back to the beginning and we start over. And, because Superman originally can't even fly.
No.
So, characters...
What happened there was just that the artist got tired of drawing panels where he was landing after a long jump, so they just stopped drawing them. And then people were like, oh, he can fly. Also in the Golden Age, he just got powers for whatever he needed in a given situation. Super hypnosis, super whatever.
Yeah, he was that obnoxious kid you used to play pretend with who was like, no, I have an invisible force field. You can't kill me.
Exactly.
You're dead. You're dead now.
I got an overall question. How scary would Batman be without the mask?
Absolutely terrifying. Because that's what I was going to say. We've seen multiple times, Bruce Wayne has said, if they ever find out that Batman is Bruce Wayne, I will kill Bruce Wayne and Batman will just be. And it's like, no. You want him to be Bruce Wayne. You don't want to know that he's Batman, because if you have Batman all the time...
24/7, baby!
No! The supervillains would be like, we're out. Gotham would be the most safe city... Gotham would be the safest city in the DC universe if Batman was Batman 24/7.
Well, Batman as Batman 24/7 is a villain.
Yeah, I was like, also think that it would
by
probably
definition.
pollute his
due
brain.
To the fact he knows all their identities.
Yeah.
And how to kill every one of them.
Right.
By definition, Batman 24/7, by the simple definition of a villain is the one that...
And thank you,
people.
Allie. Yeah. That's the point that I'm trying to get at. The secret identity is the balance of humanity with the superhuman.
Mm-hmm.
And
if you're just fighting crime all the time, you're going to get real jaded.
Yeah, if you don't have it. With Batman, we look at it and we go, Batman fights dark stuff. And Superman punches aliens in the face. It's different. Right?
Batman beats up
street
store
criminals.
worker at McDonald's due to not can't buy a cheeseburger.
Yeah, something like that. But, Superman's not dealing with the dark things that Batman looks at, but he still needs, more than almost any character in comics, he needs that connection to humanity. He needs the human side of the man part of who he is. He can't be super all the time. We've explored this endlessly. Kingdom Come did a brilliant job. You gotta brush your teeth
sooner or later.
Yeah.
You gotta have dinner. You gotta have, and they
Kingdom
use the
Come did
secret
a brilliant
identity
job
to do that.
of exploring what happens when Superman focuses too much on super and not enough on human.
All right, I'll pick on the end of an
wherein
MCU
he almost
movie.
destroyed the UN.
Well, I'll pick on the end of an MCU movie where everybody is sitting around eating shawarma.
Yes.
In their super suits.
Yes.
With all their masks off.
It's just kind of...
Well, they had just destroyed a city. I don't think anyone else was going to...
I know, but you just kind of looked at it and went, all right, the scene's funny. It really was a quiet humor to it.
Yeah.
But, do you really want to see, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Superman, Batman, all just kind of...
Yeah, because there's a big difference between...
Sprawled out with, no mask on.
Yeah. Well, it's also because there's a big difference between the Marvel characters and the DC characters.
Right.
In that the Marvel characters are the ones that you relate to. They have human flaws. They're the ones who,
Superman is not relatable because he is the stranger from a strange land.
Right.
He is an immigrant.
The DC characters are icons. They are.
Aquaman isn't even human.
Right.
Kind of thing.
Aquaman is a king. He's the epitome of
Martian
the
Manhunter.
Arthurian.
Not
kind
even
of, his name's even
not
Arthur.
even a human.
Yeah. Superman's relatable in the sense of the immigrant thing and feeling outcast and all of that
he
stuff.
Is the stranger from a strange land who has adopted our ways.
But they don't have character flaws in the ways that Marvel characters do.
No, I agree.
Superman, again, I keep going back to this one point. Superman revealing his identity is ultimately a selfish decision. He is doing it to serve himself. And that is the exact opposite of who he is as a character.
Well, Superman in his super suit floating to the breakfast table is just not, it doesn't work.
No.
As a comic book, that doesn't work.
And the thing is they've done scenes like that where he goes home and he visits Ma and Pa Kent and stuff, and she still makes him pancakes. And he's sitting at the kitchen table in his Superman suit, and his mom puts a plate of pancakes.
But
in front
that's
of him.
the juxtaposition between his mother and him.
I mean, I don't know. I guess it is selfish, but I think at its heart he was trying to protect Lois, and what he didn't realize is that like it was gonna ruin everyone's lives, because now Mom, Pa, Kent are just gonna get berated with like reporters all day, every day, who are like, "What was
it's
it
not
like
just
to raise a superhero?"
And I can't say for sure that like he's made the decision to come out, reveal his identity because people were giving Lois a hard time. I know that that's mentioned in the New York Times article that Bendis did, or the interview that he did. I can't say for certain that that's like the ultimate reason why he made the decision. But yeah, it feels like he's not looking at the long-term consequences of the decision. And again, I really like...
Well, it's the comic book world, so there'll be a huge flash of light. Everybody will forget.
Everybody will forget.
You know,
but then again, like when
50
they
issues,
when they've
and he
done
can
stuff
go back
like
to
that in
being
the
Clark
past,
Kent.
like with Spider-Man, for example, during Civil War, Spider-Man reveals his identity to the world, and it's supposed to be this big deal because the whole thing with Civil War in the comics was registration. Right. In order to, have superheroes be more regulated and, accountable and held responsible for when they make mistakes, things like that. And you had Captain America was against it. Iron Man was for it. Tony convinces Peter that registration is a good idea. It's more responsible, which is his whole thing, etc. So as a big show of support, Peter comes to the podium, takes his mask off, right? And then within like 3 weeks, Aunt May gets shot by a sniper.
Yep.
Who was trying to kill Mary Jane, and Peter, saw it coming and knocked her out of the way. But Aunt May gets capped. So in order to fix that problem, Peter makes a deal with the devil, the literal devil of the Marvel Universe, and Mephisto. And in order to save Aunt May's life, he gives up his marriage to Mary Jane, and everybody forgets his identity.
Yep.
Right? And it is still, that was what, 10, 15 years ago in the comics?
12 years ago.
About 12 years ago. It is still widely considered one of the most hackneyed and poorly written arcs in a comic book. Widely used as a example of this is not a thing you do.
This is where you jump a shark.
This is where you jump the shark.
And you're looking at the Superman maneuver, and you're going... I see a motorcycle,
I see,
a leather jacket.
I see a motorcycle, a leather jacket,
ramp,
and a shark.
There's a shark in the pool, and I see in 30 episodes...
They're about to start the boat.
Yeah, and in 30 episodes, somebody is going to have to blank everybody's memories.
It's going to be a Men in Black crossover.
Yeah,
and they're just going to come start flashing people.
Yes, there's going to be a Men in Black crossover, even though it's owned by Marvel. But there's going to be a Men in Black crossover, and they're just going to neuralize everybody.
Yeah, the Statue of Liberty neuralizer is going to come up.
Right. Yeah. Right. They'll have. This is how they'll have to fix it. DC will have to have another crisis.
Yep.
To restart the universe again, so people forget that Clark Kent is Superman.
There's the prediction. You're good. We agree.
I'm still waiting on a little cartoon cameo of Superman leaning over Bendis going, "You really want to throw me under the bus?"
Oh, yeah.
Could you just imagine what Superman would do? He'd probably look over and say, "Hey, y'all close. Let's
We're
straighten
gonna have
this
a
out real quick."
chat.
Oh, well. We'll see in 6 months from now whether or not this is still a thing.
We've talked about them.
We've played them.
And now we'll show you.
The all-new Twitch channel from Geek Tank Radio is here.
Go Ready Player Geek.
Where we unpack and dive into single-player, story-driven games, to fighters, to multiplayer shooters, to tabletop and card games, and everything in between.
And stay up to date with us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Ready Player Geek.
Check us out now at twitch.tv/ReadyPlayerGeek.
Streaming every Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday night at 8 Central.
There's always those stories that defy labels. Thankfully, there's the GTR Random Roundup.
I would love to be able to salute this guy, but I can't. I can salute his inventive...
You want to.
His craftsmanship, I will salute. His motivation is terrible, and his execution is disgusting. So... Dateline, Florida. Dade County.
Yeah.
Is Dade County another
Florida.
weirdo place?
Oh, Dade County is
Why
like
did you,
one
wait,
of the...
wait. Why did you bury the lead and not tell us that this is in Florida?
Well, okay.
It's in Florida.
Edit that out. Yeah.
Yay!
I mean, it's pretty much a given at this point. So this guy was arrested, and he looks like Charles Manson or something. This guy looks even worse than him, but he was arrested for launching over 60 fully loaded diapers out of a homemade catapult. And here's the thing, Alan. He loaded the diapers himself over the course of a month. This was he plotted this out.
He worked hard.
Wait, where was he launching them to?
Well, that's what I was going to get. Yeah, Andy. So he's launching them onto the freeway.
So he was
At
saving
cars.
them up. He was
target
ripening them
practice.
for a month.
But here's the part.
Tasty.
This is one of these. If he could turn his powers to good, this guy made. These things launched at 70 miles an hour. They went almost a quarter of a mile. This thing is an efficient catapult. Oh my god!
I'm curious as to like
chunking, baby.
what kind of dietary changes he made to like really get the best bang for his buck on them diapers.
Where did he store them? Where did he? I mean,
I hope
hazmat
outside.
suits. It's just like.
I mean, have you watched Hoarders? They keep all that stuff in their house.
But this just
okay,
shows
Andy. We are the closest to like most recent diaper changes.
Yeah.
Okay, those things. If you leave them like in a Kroger bag for like longer than like an hour, a day most, you're like gagging at the sight of it.
Right.
No,
Not
like-
just smell of it. The sight. You're like
Oh, you want to
My
dispose
sister
of it.
has one of those trash cans that like
the diaper genie.
suctions.
Yeah, the diaper genie.
We
And
had the
every
diaper
time I
genie.
forget and I open it to throw something away, and I'm like,
Okay, but listen to this.
So bad.
This just shows you how the mindset is different in Florida. One woman said, I immediately pulled over so I could watch. The diapers were flying through the air. It was quite a sight to see.
I mean, I would too.
The catapult was quite an ingenious contraption, the police officer said. I've never seen a weapon like that in 30 years on the police force. Very well made.
I love how that's the thing they're focusing on. They're not focusing on the fact that this dude stored 60, did you say 60 diapers?
63 before they stopped him.
63 diapers. They're not focusing on
Yeah,
that.
before he was stopped.
But where was he
They're
camped out?
focusing
He's like,
on the well construction of the catapult.
that's what I
Yeah.
mean. It's just a whole different
Man,
world
it's,
down there.
you gotta admire
Positive
professionalism
vibe.
where you see it.
Yeah, so I'm not going to follow this guy too closely, but I am going to follow his career with great
I mean, at least
interest,
he was
so.
just like throwing diapers and
You know what? I genuinely. You remember that story of like the guy Frank? What's his name from Catch Me If You Can?
Oh yeah,
How he got hired by the FBI because
Right.
they're like nobody can do this as good as you. This guy's gonna. I guarantee you, this dude's getting a DoD contract.
Okay, there you go.
Because he can launch things.
Yes.
Yeah, turn your
Launch
powers to
him.
good, man.
D.O. duty.
All right, you guys.
All right.
I have some exciting news for you all.
Let's hear it.
Okay.
We've all heard of outsourcing. Sometimes you just don't want to do a job, but you want to get paid.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
Well, a hitman hires a hitman who hires a hitman who hires a hitman who hires a hitman who tells police.
Wait a minute. This is the introduction to The Dark Knight, right? Scene 1. Okay, go ahead.
5 hitmen have been jailed for attempted murder after each one avoided carrying out the contract themselves so they could make a profit. I mean, they're just being smart business people.
I'll be
They
honest.
just weren't smart enough.
I wouldn't have charged them all with attempted murder. Conspiracy to commit murder, yes.
Yeah, wouldn't it, at some point it just become like a...
Wait a minute. Allie, who were
It's
they
a
trying
pyramid scheme.
Who were they trying to hit?
so
That's what I don't
An
get.
initial person hired a hitman,
Yes.
right? So that
So they
contract,
gotta silence him.
So
Yeah,
that contract was worth something.
It
and
was
then that
two-
guy,
Amway of
So,
assassinations.
Chinese businessman, name I'm not even going to try to pronounce,
Yeah.
was looking for a hitman to take out his competitor and was willing to pay 2 million yen to get the job done. It's a lot of money.
that's a hang on.
The
20, 30 bucks,
hitman
man.
that Mr. Yu Hui hired decided to offer the job to another hitman for half the original price. The second hitman then subcontracted to another hitman, who then subcontracted to a fourth,
Oh my
who
God.
gave the job to a fifth. However, hitman number 5 was so incensed at how much the value of the contract had fallen, he told the target to just fake his own death.
Oh my God.
Which eventually led to the police finding out about the plot. Because the guy who got told to fake his own death was like,
I mean,
excuse me.
I need to call the police.
Nobody died,
No,
right?
wait,
We
wait,
can laugh
No,
about
Nobody
it.
died.
Okay.
Nobody
So
died.
I hope that the hitman who told the dude to fake his own death. I hope this dude doesn't get charged as harshly as the other guys
I feel
did.
like he
because he
wasn't even gonna do it.
It could have just been like that he was mad about the money. He could have had a crisis of conscience.
Well, no,
And
No,
they're
he's
like,
mad about the money.
I want to get paid, but also I don't want to actually kill anybody.
No. But the one who hired him can bring a civil suit for fraud.
Okay, but here's the other thing.
It's true.
It sounds pretty
He was
easy
hired to do a job.
It
He said
sounds
he was
pretty
gonna do
easy
the
to
job, and then
find.
didn't do the job.
It sounds pretty easy to find hitmen in wherever this is at. I mean, how the heck do you get that many? Is there just
you
this
need a
network
hitman?
of?
Have you
I can
not
find you a
seen
hitman.
John Wick?
I mean,
There's a whole underground.
I was gonna
man.
say there's
The
this thing
dark
called
web,
Craigslist.
baby.
Oh, the dark web. There you go.
It said the businessman and the hapless
Well, hey, don't even have
assassins
to go
were all
far.
convicted of attempted murder by the court in a place in China I'm not going to try to pronounce, following a trial that lasted 3 years. It said the
Wow.
original dispute occurred in 2013 when Wei decided to sue real estate developer Yui. Worried he would lose the lengthy court battle, that's when he hired the hitman.
Gosh. Okay.
And then it all led to where we are now.
Wow.
I'm sorry. If you have 2 million yen to spend on a hitman, then just lose the court battle and pay the dude. It's not going to be that much money.
Pour that into your company and reinvest. And I mean,
Yeah, why don't you try to outcompete them?
Yeah.
All right, well, I'm going to go to California because it is the season.
What season?
Which no, not
It is
yet.
the season.
Spooky season.
Well,
Yeah.
no, because the Christmas decorations are already up in the stores.
Well, that's true.
They're already there. The music is already
I
playing.
can already get my holiday Coke and Sprite.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Why?
And the little commercials have begun. And in California, they have arrested their first liquored up Santa.
Now we're talking.
Dude
Okay.
in full costume, passed out in the car. His comment was, I was drunk and made some poor decisions.
Yeah.
Haven't we all?
So wait a minute, Alan. When did the intoxication occur? Was he handling children at this point, or was this?
No, he was just
Well, I mean-
he was just in a vehicle on his own, probably on his way back from a gig. So yeah, it is officially the season because we've now busted our first liquored up Santa.
Wow. What a dark time. Wow.
Loving it. Loving it.
I had a joke for that.
Is nothing sacred anymore. So
No.
okay.
Oh, for sure not Mall Santas.
No.
Andy, are you going to tell the joke or am I going to go?
No, you go ahead. I'm not telling a joke.
Pinellas Park. We're gonna take a
Where's
ride
that?
back down to Florida.
Okay.
All right. Now we take things very serious here.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Crime is bad.
Crime is bad.
You know, especially crimes of a sensitive nature, where you wanted to call out the SVU for it. I got 2 victims at a local Park Place Target. One was a large stuffed unicorn, and the other was Olaf the Snowman from Frozen.
Wait a minute.
Okay. So police said Cody Meter, 20 of St. Petersburg, entered the store around 2 p.m. Tuesday, walked up to a display of merchandise from Frozen, picked up a large stuffed Olaf, placed it on the floor, and proceeded to rub himself against it until...
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, he did things.
Thanks a lot.
Then
Wait,
he put
he
it
was
back
dressed
on the
as a unicorn?
Then he put it back on the display. Authorities say Meter then walked into a toy aisle.
What?
Mommy,
And grabbed
Olaf's
another
melting.
stuffed animal, this time a large unicorn, and did the same thing.
God!
You edit that out. That's
No,
terrible.
no.
Yeah.
No. Meter was
Allie.
detained in the store where police said he admitted to doing stupid stuff.
That's what he had to say about himself. Stupid stuff.
Police said his father, who was not at the scene, told them that Meter has a history of this type of behavior.
Did you let
and
him
he's,
go
and
to
he's,
Target by
and he's out
himself?
free roaming the streets.
According
with a
to an
history of
arrest
this
report, the
behavior.
dolls were removed from the store and destroyed.
Does the dad walk around with like a squirt bottle, like with a cat? Like, no, humping the
All right,
inanimate objects.
Here is
the snowman!
Are
here-
bath salts involved?
here is the no. He was sober.
This
Here
guy. What
is
a
the true. Here is the true travesty of this whole thing.
Yeah.
Meter was charged with 1 misdemeanor account of criminal mischief and taken to Pinellas County Jail, released on a $150 bail that same day. He has no prior arrest history in Pinellas County, And police said it is currently unknown if mental health is a factor.
Oh yeah, that's hard to
I think
tell.
it's pretty known.
Somebody ask Olaf.
I would say
Why is
that's
he only
fairly
paying
obvious.
$150? That's why he's out doing this.
I think
throw the book at this.
I think
weirdo.
my favorite part of this whole story is that as the story got out this week, Josh Gad, who voices Olaf, tweeted, "Sometimes I don't like warm hugs."
The only good thing about this
Thank
is
you.
Olaf's such an awful character that who's going to buy that toy anyway?
Olaf is the best character.
Oh my gosh, that guy's so irritating. He was I wanted him to melt. That guy was terrible.
I love him.
I mean, I love that movie, but I just Olaf
Olaf is
was lame,
great.
but
He's
whatever.
so funny.
So
Okay,
for mine,
take us out, Andy.
we don't normally think of German people as being like very emotional, I guess.
They're emotional. It's just angry.
Well, okay,
That's the emotion.
So their language is very.
we
very
picture
angry
them as
I would like to go ahead and
tight and
apologize
somewhat
to any
tightly wound.
Germans who
Yes.
are overly emotional in a positive way.
Okay.
Yeah, but we don't normally think of German people as like being like they're very tightly wound appearing people.
Gotta
right?
love our stereotypes.
Like,
but no,
they're
it's
not.
true.
They're not prone to impulse.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Except for this dude, who decided to scale a 13-foot fence.
What's his name?
Hang on.
Andy needs to read these stories before he starts talking.
Oh no. I watched him read it, and he was
it's-
giggling too much to have not read this.
Okay.
Yeah. It does not give his name because he is a minor.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
He is a teenager, a German teenager, who scaled a 13-foot wall, not fence, wall.
Oh, that's a tough operation.
He's a German
Last
Spidey
week.
man.
Last week, in order to break into a German prison.
What?
To try to get his ex-girlfriend back.
Breaking into prison. Wow.
See, I told you it was
Oh,
romantic.
young love.
Right?
All right. The ex-girlfriend is in
In prison.
the pokey.
Yeah,
All right,
yeah.
she's in the prison.
His ex-girlfriend is
In the prison.
a German prison.
Did
He
she break up with
is
him?
a free man.
Is a free man.
All right.
But I love you.
Wait, did he get in?
You get over here now.
I love how that's just. Did he get in?
Well, I mean,
we want to know.
No. Joe. This is what Joe's really trying to get at. He asked, "Did he get in?" What he wants to know is, did they get back together?
I want to know if there was at least one romantic hug or something happened.
What happened?
When the rest of us go, did he get in? What we're actually asking, did they shoot him?
I'm wondering what level of security they have. It could be
all right,
you
all
know.
right. Okay. Prison authorities in the northwestern town of Vechta told news agency DPA that the 18-year-old scaled a 4-meter or 13-foot wall last week to get to his ex's window.
Wow.
Oh, he wanted to serenade her.
Homeboy was really doing some Spider-Man stuff.
I mean,
Prison officials intercepted him. He refused to climb back down.
Get down.
he wasn't gonna leave.
Get
Yeah.
the hose.
No, I live here on the wall now.
Did she lower a bunch of bed sheets tied together or
And
something?
the fire service was called to bring him down with a ladder. It
Nine.
Romeo, 9.
It wasn't clear whether the escapade succeeded in winning back the heart of the young woman, who is also 18, who had broken up with him by phone.
Oh, so he's a stalker. This isn't like he missed his girlfriend.
No, it's
Okay.
probably because she did it through a phone call at the prison.
Yeah.
Man, that's how you know the relationship's really bad. I'm gonna use my one phone call to break up with you.
Well,
Do you accept this? Do you accept this call from? I hate you. I do not want to see you ever again.
Yeah.
No.
No. No, I don't accept this. And I don't accept it so much, I'm climbing that wall.
Maybe she just went to jail just to get some peace and get away from this guy. Maybe, he's a stalker.
She broke up with him because she got accused of a crime he committed.
There you
The
go.
man is being investigated for trespassing and unauthorized contact with prisoners.
Man, if they ever get married, they're gonna have a story for life, though. You know, I mean,
Wow. Okay. Also, regional broadcaster NDR reported that the man was half naked.
Oh, here we go. Okay.
Having taken off many of his clothes to avoid getting caught on barbed wire.
Wait a minute.
Wait,
Andy.
hold on. There's other things
He'd
I don't
rather
know.
have his skin caught on Bob. That seems like a bad plan. You want your clothes to get sliced.
I love though how we immediately all jump to, he's crazy, he's a stalker, she's in jail for getting caught for something that he did.
No, we're trying to figure out reasons why she broke up with him.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we could all just do the whole, normal white dude thing and go, she'd be crazy.
No, I was just gonna say, dude's just, he was heartbroken. He wanted to know why.
Would you take off your clothes and scale barbed wire?
I would.
He's crazy.
No, there's wanting to know, and then there's
wait,
like,
wait.
If he is
Wait, hang on.
Yeah.
If you, I'm 32 now. If you had asked me that question at 18,
You'll do whatever you got to do.
I knew you at 18. Yeah, you was dumb.
Yeah.
that's my point. I'm not crazy.
I beg to differ.
I'm giving this guy.
That wasn't part of the original conversation, Andy.
you might just want to table that question.
Yeah.
Trust me, you got to be a little crazy to hang out with us.
Yeah.
I hate y'all.
I'm giving this guy a tentative salute because I admire the passion and I admire the
Take that
initiative.
salute away.
But
No,
if
it's-
he's a stalker, then I'll
my
rescind
question
the
is,
salute.
they
It's
say
gross and
half
creepy.
naked. Which half? Because as long as he's still wearing pants, he's not crazy.
Allie, if
Well,
you
keep
were
in mind the shirt and stuff is probably back there on the barbed wire.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
keep in mind.
They,
Yeah,
still,
'cause it's
can't, they
fine.
still can't get it off.
As-
Once again, I remind you, this is a German.
Isn't it cold there at this time of year? I mean,
It's cold there every time
Yeah,
of the year.
it's Germany. It's always cold.
that's
A bitter cold.
okay. I think we should follow
Again,
that.
how many
story.
listeners?
Hold out here.
Hey, Brody,
I swear. What?
how many listeners we got in Germany?
I don't know. I have to repopulate 0 now.
Yeah, probably zero.
Back down to 0.
Okay. Well,
Yeah, but Austria's gonna love us this week.
yeah. Okay. Wow. I'm emotionally drained, you guys. This was a lot of Geek Tank this week. We threw a lot at everybody and the listeners, but they wrote it out, I hope. So, but I think we need to ride it on out of here ourselves. So, and I can't even finish the sentences because I'm brain dead. But anyway, so until next week, we are the Geek Patrol, and I am Joe Thorderson.
I'm Allie.
I'm Alan.
All right, I'm Brody
Wake up,
fighting over
Al.
Mike.
I'm Andy.
I am Brandon saying there's way too many people in this studio, but next week it'll be even bigger because we're going to bring Joe a nice stuffed unicorn.
Yay.
Geek Tank Radio. More below and on 1019kissfm.com. Keyword Geek Tank.